Chapter 1541. Xianyuan Huowu possessed a divine flame, and her battle prowess was astonishing. She could also unleash the ability to fight those above her level at any time. With the Phoenix divine sword in hand, her killing power was incomparably shocking. Yang Wu was even more ruthless. He ignored the attacks of the three-headed monsters and used the most violent method to break through their attack. He angrily knocked on their heads and smashed their heads one by one. They didn't even have the chance to resist before they died. This time, the three-headed monsters were completely flustered. They had provoked an enemy they couldn't afford to provoke. Only the god-level experts of their race could take action. Yang Wu captured one of the three-headed monsters alive. It was very unyielding. "Kill me if you want. My race's lord will avenge me." "Then kill it," Yang Wu replied, and really killed the three-headed monster. Even in death, the three-headed monster didn't expect Yang Wu to really kill it. It was just joking just now. How could this person be so stubborn and kill it just like that? Why didn't he interrogate it a bit more? Maybe it would have yielded. This person was too old-fashioned. How could such a person become a peerless expert? It died too unjustly. Without these demigod-level three-headed monsters, there were still a lot of them. Yang Wu could easily capture a few of them and interrogate them about where their race was. These three-headed monsters were very stubborn. They didn't say anything and were all killed by Yang Wu. Yang Wu could only use the puppet controlling technique to control these three-headed monsters and figure out where they were. After Yang Wu controlled them, he figured out what kind of race they were. They were called the three-headed monster race. Each of their heads had different innate abilities and different thoughts. Each of their bodies could do three things at once. In this world, they were also a powerful race. In their race, there was a type of three hearts grass. This was a type of divine medicine that had extremely powerful effect. Although it couldn't allow one to grow 3 hearts, after consuming it, one would be able to do 3 things at once for a period of time. Their comprehension and intelligence would increase exponentially, and it was very useful for breaking through various barriers. It was even rarer and more valuable than enlightenment tea. Many races wanted to steal their 3 hearts grass, but they were all ruthlessly chased away. When Yang Wu heard this, he was instantly overjoyed. There's actually 3 hearts grass here. The heavens are really helping me. In his mind, there was a divine pill called the 3 hearts pill. The main ingredient was the 3 hearts grass. The effects of the 3 hearts pill were many times more powerful than the 3 hearts grass alone. It was one of the top divine pills. For those half-step transcendence martial artists, a single 3-heart pill would be enough for them to break through easily. Furthermore, it would allow them to quickly comprehend the cultivation of the transcendence realm. It was even useful for peak transcendence martial artists, as it could help them reach the 9 suns realm. Yang Wu would have to refine it to know if it was really that miraculous. He was determined to get this 3 hearts grass. In addition, there was an ancient battlefield with the 3 monster races. There wasn't much danger and he could comprehend the ancient battle skills left behind there. There were all kinds of methods, but most of them were from the human race. After all, this place was actually the territory of the human world. The human race was the largest race in the human world and had once been incomparably glorious. The 3 monster races are not to be trifled with. Are you sure you want to come with me? Yang Wu looked at Xianyuan Huowu and asked. The 3 monsters tribe probably had several divine-level experts, and they might even have reached the middle level or even the high level. He did not dare to be sure what kind of trump cards these tribes had, but he knew that they would definitely be very dangerous. He had no choice but to warn Xianyuan Huowu so that she wouldn't suffer with him. Xianyuan Huowu smiled sweetly and said, "If I'm afraid of this, how can I become a martial saint? I'll let you see this princess power. Little Wu, quickly lead the way." It had to be said that she was always confident and a beautiful fairy girl. Yang Wu was infected by her moving smile. He also smiled and said, Your Highness, please follow me. Thus, the two of them headed toward the three monster races' territory. The three monster races' territory wasn't large. They only occupied a small town with tens of thousands of creatures. The forest here was dense, the mountains were green, and the water was clear. The spiritual energy here was dense. It was indeed an excellent place to live. When Yang Wu and Xianyuan Huowu arrived, the god-ranked experts of the three monster races rushed out. It was too difficult to hide in this place. Moreover, the two of them had just slaughtered the creatures of the three monster races. How could the three monster races not know about this? Outsiders, you're really arrogant. You dare to come after killing my children? Do you think my race can't deal with you? Outsiders are very arrogant, but arrogant people usually die faster. What nonsense are you talking about? Capture them and roast them. This god-ranked creature of the three monster races spoke in a different language with each head. It was very strange. In addition, he held a bone weapon in his hand. This bone weapon was like a three-section staff. It was dark green and emitted an incomparably sharp evil aura. This was definitely a god-ranked bone weapon that had been soaked in a special aura. My princess said she wants to conquer you. Why aren't you kneeling down and submitting? Yang Wu looked directly at the three monsters and shouted faintly. Little Wu is right. You monsters, quickly submit to this princess, and I can spare your lives. Xianyuan Huowu put one hand on her waist and said arrogantly. As soon as they finished speaking, one of the creatures from the three monsters race spat out a shocking blast of qi that engulfed them. I'll kill you, the three monsters shouted. In the next moment, Yang Wu attacked from a distance. With a hand of the void, he slapped the three monsters into their territory. I said I'll conquer you, so I'll conquer you. Begin. Yang Wu shouted. He completely let go of his hands and charged into the three monster races to attack continuously. Barbaric Lion Fist. Barbaric Tiger Fist. With the momentum of his fists, Yang Wu blasted out a series of terrifying savage beasts. This strength was enough to forcefully kill these beings of the three strange beasts. If one wanted to stay in this place peacefully, conquering a race was indeed the best way to survive. Yang Wu had no choice but to attack in the most violent way. Yang Wu was simply too powerful. With just a casual wave of his hand, he had sent the creatures from the three strange races into chaos. Ah! Miserable screams rang out one after another as the three monsters were blasted into a pool of blood. Even that god-ranked creature was scared witless by Yang Wu. Xianyuan Huowu looked at this scene in a daze. She was truly shocked. Little Wu has become so powerful. I can't show any weakness. Then, she also attacked with the Phoenix Sword. As he took the initiative to attack, it alarmed the other god-ranked creatures. They all rushed out. One of them had already reached the late middle stage of the god-ranked realm. He stretched out his two palms, and two forces that could tear apart heaven and earth grabbed at Yang Wu and Xianyuan Huowu. Those who offend my race will be killed. The strongest of the three monsters roared. Princess, step back. Wait for me. Yang Wu responded. He swept his arms and blocked the attack of the three monsters with his own strength. Fight with all your strength. Yang Wu roared again. The power of the barbaric god's arm completely erupted, including his own profound energy. He didn't want to use a divine weapon to deal with a creature of this level. He wanted to use his own strength to destroy all of the opponent's attacks and kill them. He had to end the battle quickly. Otherwise, Xianyuan Huowu might not be able to resist. Yang Wu still underestimated Xianyuan Huowu. After she wielded the Phoenix Sword, she had a very powerful battle strength. Moreover, she also had the demon-revealing mirror that could block many attacks. It wouldn't be a problem for her to protect herself in front of a god-ranked creature. Moreover, with the power of her bloodline, it wasn't impossible for her to fight a god-ranked creature. In order not to worry Yang Wu, Xianyuan Huowu had entered her strongest battle state. Her entire body was covered in raging phoenix flames. She carried the momentum of the monarch's sword Dao and fought against the three god-ranked creatures. After Yang Wu and the three monsters collided, it caused a huge commotion. The shock waves rippled in all directions, and the powerful gravitational field was torn apart. This world had a suppressive effect on many saints. However, it didn't have much effect on experts of their level. Yang Wu blocked the opponent's attack and quietly slashed out the nether ice-winged blade. Unfortunately, he didn't succeed this time. The eyes on one of the opponent's heads were especially good. It discovered the existence of the nether ice-winged blade and shot the resulting attack. In addition, the opponent's bone weapon heavily smashed onto his black tortoise battle armor. He only dissipated half of the force, and the other half continued to smash towards him. Bang! The strength of a late middle-stage god-ranked creature was extremely tyrannical. Yang Wu was directly sent flying by the strike. However, the opponent didn't have it easy. He suddenly slashed out with the magnetic sword finger and left a deep sword scar on one of the opponent's heads. It almost cut the head off. "Damned brat, I'll kill you!" Yes, kill him. Since he dared to kill me, I won't let him have it easy. Roast him and eat him. The three monsters roared furiously. They waved their bone weapons and once again attacked Yang Wu. The bone weapons were suffused with a dark blue evil aura and terrifying illusory power. They could invade the soul and the physical body. They were extremely lethal. Yang Wu had just taken a hit. His blood and qi were surging. It was as if he had been hit by a mountain. It was extremely uncomfortable. I was careless. Yang Wu snorted and began to mobilize the power of immortal qi to heal his injuries. Then, he attacked again in his most ferocious state. Barbaric Tyrant Fist. Chaotic Mysterious Fist. Jinwu Fist. Yang Wu seemed to have transformed into a Jinwu. The sun and moon reversed. The ferocious Jinwu Fist intent blasted towards the three monsters with an unstoppable force. Rumble, rumble. The two powerhouses collided. Wave after wave of aura surged endlessly. Yang Wu was now qualified to meet such a powerhouse head-on. The more the three monsters fought, the angrier they became. They were so powerful, but they couldn't do anything to the human in front of them. They had no choice but to use the remarkable power of their three races. The three heads roared together and the three souls changed. Ayala. Chapter 1542. The three strange creatures let out an incomparably sharp sound. It was like a sharp blade that sliced through one's divine court, tearing one's soul apart. Moreover, three soul shadows quickly rushed towards the divine court, wanting to take the opportunity to devour Yang Wu's soul. Yang Wu had encountered many kinds of soul attacks. For example, the Zither Prince he had encountered not long ago. The Zither Dao's soul attack was not weak and could cause many people to be addicted to it. However, that kind of damage could not be compared to the screams of the three strange creatures. Even the lion's roar could not be compared to it. This was an extremely shrill cry, and it was too unbearable. Yang Wu's soul had been cultivated to a very powerful level, but he still felt the pain and discomfort. It was also at this moment that the three souls rushed into his divine court, wanting to rip his soul apart. This time Yang Wu laughed. "You're courting death." His soul felt uncomfortable, but he could still bear it. If the other party launched a physical attack, he would be injured instead. He did not expect them to run into his divine court. They were indeed courting death. War Soul Kill. Yang Wu's soul power had reached the heavenly soul realm, which was completely comparable to the soul of the god realm. Moreover, it had been tempered in many ways and had the same powerful combat strength as the physical body. It was completely incomparable to other soul bodies. Yang Wu's war soul attacked, scaring the three souls. Generally speaking, those who were attacked by their souls were in a severely injured state. They could devour and strengthen their own souls. However, Yang Wu's state did not seem to be injured. He was still in his peak state, which made them sad. They would not sit still and wait for death. They rose up and attacked Yang Wu's soul. In addition, they still had a part of their soul power in their bodies. Their physical bodies attacked Yang Wu. So what if your soul is complete? You'll still die, the three strange creatures shouted ferociously. It raised its bone staff and smashed it at Yang Wu's head. Unfortunately, when its bone staff was about to hit Yang Wu's head, it felt a pain in its head. It could not help but scream, and its attack completely collapsed. It didn't expect Yang Wu's soul attack to be so powerful, tearing apart three of its souls in an instant. If its soul was injured, it would also suffer a backlash. At this moment, Yang Wu's counterattack came. He pulled out the tyrant saber from behind him and cut the creature into two halves on the spot. The other three monsters didn't even have a chance to save him. All of this happened too suddenly. They never thought that their patriarch would be cut in half so miserably. This brat deserves to die. Quick, save the patriarch. Two other creatures of the three freaks joined forces to attack Yang Wu. Yang Wu's blade had cut through the other party's body, so it probably hadn't died yet. The life force of a god-level creature was incomparably tenacious, and it could reassemble at any time. Yang Wu wasn't going to give them a chance to save him. Blue Enchantress came out of his chest and burned the two halves of the three creatures into ashes. As for the other two races and three monsters, there was no need to fear them. Demon Slayer. Yang Wu waved the tyrant saber and slashed out in an extremely stunning manner. The saber light enveloped the two creatures of the three monsters. Yang Wu's saber light forcefully broke through their attacks and slashed toward them. They were only at the early stage of the immortal state and were far inferior to their patriarch. Yang Wu had even killed their patriarch. How could they stop Yang Wu's attack? In 2 or 3 moves, they were covered in wounds by Yang Wu. It wouldn't be long before they were slaughtered. They were completely terrified. This human was too powerful. There was no way they could fight him. If they were destroyed, their entire race would be finished. Submit, or I'll slaughter your entire race. Yang Wu took the opportunity to roar. As he spoke, the tyrant saber slashed down at the town below. No. I'll fight you to the death. Yang Wu's saber slashed down, leaving a long saber mark in the town below and taking the lives of hundreds of creatures of the three monsters. Soon after, the 2 creatures that were fighting against him were also killed by him. Yang Wu rushed over to help Xianyuan Huowu. Xianyuan Huowu was completely at a disadvantage. The fact that she was able to survive meant that she was very strong. After all, she was fighting 1 against 2. However, she wouldn't be in such a sorry state in a one-on-one fight. When Yang Wu rushed over, the 2 creatures of the 3 monsters were no match for him. In the end, they were heavily injured by Yang Wu. They weren't afraid of death and would rather die than submit. Yang Wu had no choice but to completely control them. It wasn't easy to control these creatures. He had to brand all 3 of their heads with the Mastery Curse. Yang Wu spent a lot of effort to control the 2 creatures of the 3 monsters. How is it? Xianyuan Huowu asked Yang Wu with concern. We've successfully taken them down. We can stay here, Yang Wu said with a smile. In fact, they could also stay here after killing the creatures of the 3 monsters. However, the races near the creatures of the 3 monsters would definitely take the opportunity to kill them and snatch their territory. Therefore, they had to keep them here to fight against the other races. Only then could they stay here for a longer period of time. In addition, they also had to figure out what the most precious things on this level were. Since they were here, they naturally had to seize some opportunities that belonged to them. You're amazing, Xianyuan Huowu said with incomparable admiration. Yang Wu smiled and didn't reply. He activated the Tao of Life to heal some of the wounds on his body. Then, he absorbed the Xian Qi of heaven and earth around him to quickly replenish his energy. Yang Wu and Xianyuan Huowu smoothly became the honored guests of the 3 monsters. No one dared to have any objections. Yang Wu went to their important place, which was the place where the patriarch stayed. It was a cave dwelling near a waterfall. This cave dwelling was an excellent place for cultivation. Unfortunately, It wasn't suitable for him because the bone evil chi was too dense and incomparably evil. It was in this cave dwelling that the 3 hearts grass grew. After Yang Wu entered, the spacious cave dwelling was very messy. There were many skeletons scattered everywhere. Many of the skeletons were of very high grades, reaching the divine level. They were good materials for forging weapons and also good materials for refining weapons. In addition, there were piles of heavenly treasures that were scattered everywhere. It was as if they were sold on the street and no one paid attention to them. Yang Wu and Xianyuan Huowu directly divided them equally. Xianyuan Huowu didn't stand on ceremony with Yang Wu. Her little face wasn't thin, so she was quite happy with it. Little Wu, not bad, not bad. I feel that we can raid a few more races' nests. Perhaps we can obtain even more rewards. Xianyuan Huowu squinted her big eyes and said excitedly, "Heavenly treasures, no one would complain about having too much. Hee, that's easy. When your strength increases a bit more, we'll go." Yang Wu laughed happily. "How can I increase my strength in such a short time?" Xianyuan Huowu spread out her hands and said. Before entering the final world, she had bitterly cultivated for a long time. At the same time, she also borrowed some heavenly treasures to increase her strength. For the sake of her foundation, she absolutely couldn't increase her strength in such a short time. Otherwise, it wouldn't be beneficial for her to break through to the Jade Moon realm in the future. And then stay here obediently. You should know that the longer you stay, the higher your ranking will be, right? I don't have much interest in this ranking. It's better to get more resources. Alright, then let's rest for a while first, then we'll make other plans. They walked in front of a sacred pond, and looked at the 5 mystical flowers that contained 3 flower cores. Each flower emitted a different color, as if they were concentric. Because of their existence, the profound energy of heaven and earth gathered here was incomparably dense. Divine Medicine 3 Heart Flower. Little Wu, I'll take 2. The other 3 are for you. Who asked you to contribute so much? But I want half of the sacred pond. Xianyuan Huowu said while rubbing her hands. Yang Wu lightly shook his head and said, I can give you one. Or rather, you should give all of them to me. Don't forget my identity. What identity? Yang Clan's patriarch? Don't use this to pressure me. I want to, or else I'll cry in front of you. You can't bear to see me in pain, right? Xianyuan Huowu said coquettishly. I'm talking about the identity of a divine alchemist. I can refine 3 heart divine pills to maximize its effect. Then I'll give them all to you. You can give me 2 or 3 3-heart divine pills as compensation. That's barely acceptable. You're really a little fox. Very shrewd. The 5 3-heart flowers were all taken by Yang Wu, and would be used to refine pills in the future. He didn't want to refine pills here. It would cause too much of a commotion, and it wouldn't be good to attract unnecessary trouble. He didn't think he was invincible here. There were definitely high-level divine realm life forms, and even peak divine realm life forms. At present, he wanted to quietly stay here for a few days, and figure out the general situation here before making a fuss. They left the cave abode and headed to the ruins behind. There was a messy forest of stone steels here. Only a few of these stone steels were still intact. Most of them had either fallen to the ground and shattered, or turned into powder. There were graves around the forest of stone steels. It was unknown when the corpses of life forms were buried, but it was certain that they didn't belong to the 3 freaks. The 3 freaks viewed this place as a forbidden area, and they wouldn't easily set foot here. Yang Wu opened his soul eye and confirmed that this place didn't belong to the Divine Palace. Only then did he bring Xianyuan Huowu in. After Xianyuan Huowu entered, she directly touched the stone steels. Be careful. Yang Wu reminded. Xianyuan Huowu replied, What danger can these stone steels have? There's no need to be so careful. Just as she finished speaking, a terrifying face suddenly flashed on the stone steels, and she was so frightened that she screamed, Ghost! Immediately after, she punched the face of the stone steels. Bang! She punched the stone tablet, but not only was it not destroyed, a shadow quietly swept out from the stone tablet and launched an attack at her. Yang Wu raised his eyebrows and muttered, "My soul, I actually couldn't see through the intent power in the stone steels. It seems that this stone steel's inheritance is very ancient." Chapter 1543. The power of the martial will that came out of the stone tablet was very strong. It attacked Xianyuan Huowu, catching her off guard and sending her flying. Once the martial will was activated, it would not stop and attacked Xianyuan Huowu again. Yang Wu did not rashly interfere. This was a test of the martial will for Xianyuan Huowu. As long as she passed, she would be able to obtain the recognition of this martial will. This was a complete martial will. It was different from the martial will that Yang Wu collected on the first level. If the three monsters were here, they would definitely be shocked. Many creatures had come here before, but none of them could trigger the martial will in the stone tablet. Xianyuan Huowu was definitely the first. Yang Wu was not clear about the situation of the stone tablet. He thought that the remaining stone tablets would have martial will. As long as he touched it, he would be tested by the martial will and be able to obtain the inheritance. He did not touch the other stone tablet. Instead, he wanted to see if Xianyuan Huowu could obtain the recognition of the martial will. At the same time, he wanted to ensure her safety to prevent any accidents from happening. The martial will that Xianyuan Huowu was facing was very strong. She was beaten back and suffered continuous attacks. Even though she was wearing a divine armor, she was still beaten to the point of vomiting blood. It was clear how powerful the martial will was. The inheritance of my Xianyuan clan. After sensing the power of the martial will, Xianyuan Huowu was not discouraged by her injuries. Instead, she was filled with fighting spirit. The Xianyuan clan was an extremely ancient clan that could be traced back to the origins of the human race. This stone tablet was the inheritance left behind by the ancestors of the Xianyuan clan. Because of this, it was normal for Xianyuan Huowu to touch it. Xianyuan Huowu used all her strength to compete with the martial will. However, she was still heavily injured. Soon, she figured out how to break through the martial will. As long as she comprehended the martial will's inheritance and obtained its recognition, she would be able to obtain its inheritance. Therefore, Xianyuan Huowu went into full defense mode. She began to sense the uniqueness of this martial will and slowly gained something. Gradually, she was able to keep up with the martial will's attacks. The two of them started off as one person being beaten up. In the end, it became a spar. Yang Wu was relieved to see this. After an unknown period of time, the martial will merged with Xianyuan Huowu. Xianyuan Huowu's aura was incomparably sharp. Yang Wu did not use the celestial moon and mirror technique to steal the technique. This was his respect for his friend. He could not help but laugh. Yang Wu pondered for a moment before activating the immortal energy within his body. A layer of immortal energy enveloped his body, and his aura became incomparably shocking. Even Xianyuan Huowu was startled awake. The martial will was. These shadows didn't attack Yang Wu. Instead, they bowed towards him. Then, they formed a series of hand seals on the spot. It was a strange posture, as if they were cultivating some kind of combat skill or secret technique. They practiced from the very beginning. From the minute subtlety realm to the martial way realm, they advanced layer by layer. Yang Wu watched them break down each of their movements as a spectator. All kinds of comprehension were transmitted to his heart. If that wasn't enough, there was still a complete martial will that shouted, "Please learn my heaven-crushing technique. Please learn my 9-snake dragon transformation technique. Please learn my 9-butterfly celestial palm." There were secret arts and martial skills here. They were all ancient secret arts and martial skills that had been lost. Their levels were very high, and they were all at the divine level. Unfortunately, only a few complete inheritances were left. Most of them were incomplete. Yang Wu silently activated the celestial moon in mirror art, imprinting some of these martial will powers and preserving their legacy. This was even more shocking than the martial will inheritance on the first level. He could not miss it. With these martial will, it would be very beneficial for anyone who cultivated in the future. Xianyuan Huowu could sense the existence of the martial will. Her cherry mouth opened wide. She exclaimed, "Is he the martial fate's son? Why does he have to accept all the inheritances?" She was a spectator, but she could not receive the inheritances. The martial will did not affect her. No matter how she looked, she could not learn it. After an unknown amount of time, Yang Wu memorized all the martial will inheritances. Only then did he silently disperse the immortal foundation's power. He sighed in his heart, the immortal body is indeed extraordinary. No matter what inheritance it is, it can be cultivated. If there was a day when he could strengthen the power of the immortal foundation, he would indeed be able to use these ultimate techniques. At that time, there would be no difference in power. As long as he was willing, he could use lightning, fire, waves, and all other kinds of power. Immortal Qi was originally a kind of transcendent power above these powers. Among the divine skills here, the one that Yang Wu was most interested in was an incomplete saber skill called prison-breaking saber. One saber skill could destroy hell and slaughter all 9 continents and 10 lands. Its power was endless. This was only a saber skill, but it already had such power. It must be very domineering to be able to perform it. Yang Wu silently memorized this saber skill. "Yang Wu, the power you just awakened is immortal Qi?" Xianyuan Huowu carefully asked. Yang Wu smiled and said, "Haha, it should be." He answered so honestly, but Xianyuan Huowu did not believe it. "Tch, how can we humans have immortal Qi? Only the immortal's child has immortal Qi. You must have some kind of divine body that caused these martial wills to appear. No wonder your cultivation talent is so amazing." After a pause, she clenched her fist and said, "But I will not lose to you. I will work harder." Yes, work harder. Yang Wu liked Xianyuan Huowu's fearless spirit the most. He took out a drop of immortal liquid and said, "This is immortal liquid. It can help you break through quickly. It should also strengthen your physique." Before he finished speaking, Xianyuan Huowu waved her hand and said, all right. I know you are very good to me, but you should keep such a precious thing. You don't need to give it to me. Otherwise, I'm afraid I will be too touched and cling to you." Suddenly, Yang Wu did not know how to respond. This was the first time he took the initiative to give immortal liquid to someone other than his own family, and he was actually rejected. This kind of feeling was a little strange. In the next few days, they stayed in the 3 monster races' territory. Yang Wu began to understand the situation on the 3rd floor. There were many powerful races here, and the strongest race was still the human race. The human race here should be the original inhabitants of this place. They had the most ancient inheritance, and their cultivation talent was amazing. They were very strong, and the other races were not their match. Apart from the human race, there were also several other powerful races, such as the Tai Tiger race, Young Ox race, Devil Tail race, and so on. These races were very xenophobic. Every time an outsider entered their territory, they would do everything they could to drive them away. Many saints who entered the 3rd floor were eliminated one after another. Not everyone was as strong as Yang Wu and Xianyuan Huowu, who could temporarily subdue a race. In fact, it was not necessarily safe for them to stay here. There were 2 other races near the 3 monster race. One was the Jade Lion race, and the other was the 4-Blade Mantis race. These 3 races would fight each other for some resources. Once the 3 monster race could not hold on, the other 2 races would take advantage of the situation and seize territory. They would definitely be discovered if they stayed in the 3 monster race. In order to stay here for a long time, Yang Wu and Xianyuan Huowu decided to take the initiative to attack. They would first take down one of the three races, and then join forces with the other two races to deal with the other one. Finally, they would control the three-monster race and have a stable place to stay. It was not easy to do such a thing. There might be a high-level divine realm creature among them. No matter how strong Yang Wu was, it would be difficult for him to suppress them. Some things had to be tried. Therefore, the two of them chose to deal with the four-blade mantis race, whose strength was on par with the three-monster race. The four-blade mantis race had twice the number of the three-monster race. They were good at group battles and sword skills. Their arms were the best size. Whoever dared to provoke them would have to try to take on their size. Yang Wu and Xianyuan Huowu did not plan to fight them head-on. They were prepared to outsmart them. They would first use the three-monster race to take the initiative to lure out the four-blade mantis race's experts. They would then find a way to take advantage of the situation and kill or control the strongest four-blade mantis. Now that the three-monster race's overall strength had been damaged, they did not have the ability to fight head-on with the four-blade mantis race. However, killing them would not be a problem. After all, the two races had been fighting for many years. They would not send their strongest battle force into the battle from the beginning. Yang Wu and Xianyuan Huowu could take the invisibility pill and hide to do many things. They immediately went to do it. The three-monster race's experts went to challenge the three-monster race. The four-blade mantis race's experts also came out to fight. The four-blade mantis race was very mighty. They were very different from ordinary mantises. Their four sides were incomparably sharp. With a light slash, cracks appeared in the space. They also had four wings and their flying speed was very fast. It was no wonder that they were a race as strong as the three-monster race. Yang Wu and Xianyuan Huowu had been waiting for an opportunity. When the four-blade mantis race's experts were fighting the fire, they suddenly turned invisible and attacked. The four-blade mantis race's experts had been focused on fighting the three-monster race's experts. How could they have expected an ambush? Although these creatures had gained intelligence, their brains were still very simple. They did not know the principle that all was fair in war. Thus, the four-blade mantis race's tragedy. Yang Wu smashed the black walk down, knocking it out on the spot. Xianyuan Huowu dealt with the other four-blade mantis race's expert. She killed many four-blade mantis race's experts and obtained a small victory for the three-monster race. The three-monster race retreated. Yang Wu also brought the four-blade mantis race back. Not long after, the four-blade mantis race took the initiative to attack the city. Chapter 1544. The strongest of the four-blade mantis was the same as the three monstrous creatures from before. It was a mid-late god-level expert. It was very powerful, but unfortunately, Yang Wu and Xianyuan Huowu's plan succeeded in taking it down. The Black Walk was an incredible divine weapon. Under the influence of Yang Wu's immortal energy, even a high-level god-level creature would not be able to withstand it. After Yang Wu took control of the four-blade mantis, it was equivalent to taking control of the territories of the two clans. However, before he could make a move against the Jade Lion clan, the Jade Lions suddenly attacked. The Jade Lion clan came too suddenly. Even they were not prepared. One by one, the Jade Lions charged into the three monstrous clans and slaughtered the creatures of the three monstrous clans. There were also many god-level Jade Lion experts who arrived at the same time. They kept their true forms and were ashamed to transform. The leading Jade Lion had reached the high-level god level. Its body was huge and its fur was dark green. As it swayed gently, each strand of green fur flickered with a sparkling light. It was as beautiful as a carved Jade Lion. It roared, "I know you have humans hiding here. Obediently come out and accept your death. You outsiders, don't even think about hiding here and surviving." Its gaze looked in the direction of Yang Wu and Xianyuan Huowu. Even though they concealed their auras well, they were still discovered. "Looks like we can only fight," Xianyuan Huowu said. Yang Wu's expression was ugly. He could sense that the Jade Lion clan was much stronger than the other two clans. If they really fought, the situation would not be optimistic. When the battle starts, you should retreat first, Yang Wu suggested. Where can I retreat? At most, I'll be eliminated early. You don't have to worry about me. Take down this lion and make it our mount, Xianyuan Huowu said with high fighting spirit. All right, if you like it, I'll catch it and give it to you. Yang Wu laughed loudly and attacked with the Tyrant Blade. Prison Breaking Blade. He immediately used a new move he learned recently. The aura of a blade that could cut through hell enveloped the Jade Lion. Roar. You don't have the qualifications to make our clan leader take action. Another Jade Lion rushed out and spat out a green essence chi from its mouth to block Yang Wu's saber. This was a mid-level deity-level Jade Lion. Its strength was also very strong. The azure clouds that filled the sky collided with the sharp saber light, shattering the saber light inch by inch. Just as the Jade Lion was feeling smug, a palm slapped towards it from a distance. Kneel! Yang Wu shouted. The void palms continued to fall, and the heavy palms were like mountains pressing down, smashing the Jade Lion into the ground, making it difficult for it to climb back up. Patriarch Jade Lion raised his eyebrows and roared. Roar! After it roared, all the Jade Lions around it also roared. Lion roar! Waves of sound waves shook the world. Yang Wu and Xianyuan Huowu were shaken by these sound waves to the point that their blood and qi churned. Even their ears felt like they were about to explode. Xianyuan Huowu's defensive power was slightly weaker. Blood flowed out of her ears. She quickly retreated, not daring to take it head-on. Yang Wu was comparatively better. His physical body was incomparably abnormally tempered. His ability to withstand pressure was also very strong. Roar! Yang Wu also circulated his qi in his dantian, drawing out all his strength and roaring. The roar of Buddhist roar was extremely powerful. Over the years, Yang Wu had comprehended all the combat skills he knew before. It could be said that he had made some gains. The roar of roar couldn't break through the lion roar, but it could block many soundwave attacks. At the same time, the Nether Ice-Winged Blade slashed out from nowhere. Clank! The Nether Ice-Winged Blade slashed onto Patriarch Jade Lion's body, making a crisp sound. The Ice-Winged Blade didn't break into the opponent's body and couldn't injure him at all. The Jade Lion Patriarch's defensive power was extremely strong. His lion fur trembled and quickly wrapped around the Nether Ice-Winged Blade. Yang Wu's expression changed. He didn't dare to hold back anymore. Opening his soul eye, a beam of soul light directly landed between the opponent's eyebrows. This soul light wasn't simple. After pouring in the power of the immortal root, its power increased by a lot. It wasn't difficult to kill the soul of a deity. Patriarch Jade Lion was still disturbed. The binding power of the lion fur weakened. Yang Wu was able to quickly retrieve the Nether Ice-Winged Blade. Otherwise, if it was shattered by the opponent, he would also be injured. I'll slaughter you. Yang Wu's aura increased greatly. He slashed down with the Tyrant Blade while holding the Black Wok, ready to throw it out at any time. Patriarch Jade Lion didn't passively defend anymore. He rushed forward and stretched out a lion claw. The tearing claw tore through space and shattered Yang Wu's blade light. Your strength isn't enough, Patriarch Jade Lion replied. Then, he ordered, take down the other human. Lion strikes the mountain. As he spoke, his lion body flashed and turned into a jade-colored flowing light. He crashed heavily towards Yang Wu. Patriarch Jade Lion's speed was too fast. Even Yang Wu couldn't react in time. He was sent flying. PFFF. This was a high-level deity. His strength was extremely domineering. How could Yang Wu take it so easily? He spat out a mouthful of blood. Patriarch Jade Lion wouldn't let go of such an opportunity. He opened his mouth and bit towards Yang Wu. He wanted to eat Yang Wu alive. At the crucial moment, Yang Wu waved the Black Wok and smashed it out. A crow flashed and a powerful crushing force enveloped over. Patriarch Jade Lion was caught off guard and was forcefully bound in the black wok. His body was almost crushed by the crushing force. Roar, roar. Patriarch Jade Lion kept roaring. The lion fur on his body stood up. Waves of jade light flashed. His body changed and quietly became smaller. Shio. When he became the size of a fist, his body was extremely round. He directly squeezed out of the powerful force field. Yang Wu had been paying attention to Patriarch Jade Lion's changes. When he escaped, the Overlord sword in his hand was replaced by the Big Dipper sword. He slashed towards Patriarch Jade Lion with a powerful sword intent. After Patriarch Jade Lion became smaller, his speed was even more shocking. He dodged Yang Wu's sword attack and once again attacked Yang Wu's vital parts. Yang Wu's heart was hit hard. If it were anyone else, their heart would have been broken. However, Yang Wu could still take it. He had 2 layers of defense. One was the black tortoise armor on the outside and the other was the Emperor Jade armor on the inside. With the combination of the 2 layers of defense, his defense was much stronger than many deities. Even so, he still spat out blood and was sent flying. The blue enchantress in his heart was activated and burned towards Patriarch Jade Lion. This time, Patriarch Jade Lion was forced to retreat. This god-rank fire incineration was still quite a threat to it. This guy was very smart. He knew that it wouldn't be easy to take down Yang Wu. He looked at Xianyuan Houwu, who was not far away, and said in a cold voice, "Take care of your companion first." Patriarch Jade Lion suddenly changed his direction and rushed towards Xianyuan Houwu. Yang Wu was shocked. He anxiously shouted, "Houwu, be careful." In the next moment, he passed through the void and slashed with the Big Dipper sword in his hand. Sword chi filled the sky and covered the heaven and earth, blocking Patriarch Jade Lion's path. He had already activated the power of the Immortal Foundation. The destructive power was extremely shocking. Patriarch Jade Lion had no choice but to use all his strength to defend himself. He could no longer attack Xianyuan Houwu. However, this didn't mean that Xianyuan Houwu was safe. She was attacked by Jade Lion many times and her deity armor was shattered. She used her strongest move. She was like a phoenix dancing in the sky, burning everything in the 9 heavens and forcing the Jade Lion experts to retreat. Unfortunately, she couldn't hold on for too long. The Jade Lion's attack broke through her attack and landed on her body, knocking her to the ground. She continuously coughed up blood and her face turned pale. However, she still had a smile on her face as she cursed, "I'm still lacking." Just as she was about to be killed by the Jade Lions, the 3 monstrous races and the 4 Blade Mantis deity experts intervened. They were all under Yang Wu's control and had been waiting for an opportunity to move. They couldn't just sit and watch. Xianyuan Houwu obtained some breathing space. She didn't take the opportunity to leave. She didn't have the habit of abandoning her friends. However, she also knew that she would be a burden to Yang Wu if she moved recklessly. She transmitted her voice to Yang Wu, "Use all your strength to deal with them. Don't worry about me. I can defend myself." In the next moment, she took out a fire pearl. This might be the demon core of a phoenix. A terrifying phoenix condensed. Phoenix fire enveloped her surroundings, preventing any living beings from approaching. This was a high-grade divine fire. Anyone who touched it would die. It wasn't difficult for her to use this method to protect herself. After hearing her voice, Yang Wu was completely relieved. He steeled his heart, "Then let's fight." He also put away the Big Dipper sword. His entire body erupted with power. The surrounding xian qi of heaven and earth surged madly, and the power of the stars kept falling. His entire body was steaming with immortal qi. His entire person became ethereal, and the immortal qi was astonishing. He shouted, "I will let you see what I have comprehended in 10 years. Black and white lotuses floated. The power of death and the power of life intertwined to form a Taiji lotus diagram. They fell together with his fist. Starlight. With a punch, endless starlight sprinkled down. Star rotation. With a punch, it was as if the stars were rotating and crushing. Starfall. With a punch, it was as if the stars were falling. Punch after punch, the stars rotated and the power was shocking. Stars flashed in the surroundings one after another, exploding in front of the Jade Lion Patriarch and the other Jade Lion. Yang Wu didn't just attack the Jade Lion Patriarch. He brought the other Jade Lions in and wanted to kill them one by one. This was the astral battle fist that his master had passed down to him, and he didn't dare to forget it for even a single moment. He kept thinking back to the scenes of his master's battle with that expert from the immortal realm. It was incomparably domineering and unyielding. Today, he had also mastered the astral battle fist. This was a top-tier God realm technique. He comprehended the power of the stars day and night and understood the strength of this battle technique. Under the activation of the immortal Qi and the Tao of life and death, the destructive power was shocking. Stop pretending to be mysterious. Jade Lion Patriarch felt threatened. He roared and used his ultimate move. Jade Lion Somersault Fist. His body spun rapidly. Waves of dark green light condensed into a giant fist and smashed over with a strong spiral force. Hong Long Hong Long. Chapter 1545. The two earth-shattering forces clashed together, spreading out in all directions, shocking all the living beings in the distance. Coincidentally, there were sages who came in one after another. Some sages also rushed here to avoid being hunted down by the living beings nearby. They were taking such risks in order to find a sliver of space to survive in the cracks between the two sides. However, they didn't dare to get too close. Otherwise, they wouldn't even know how they died. These people were from the Xing clan and the northern Devil Island. They formed a strong team and entered the third level together. Each of them had the strength of a high-level sage. There were more than 80 of them, and more than half of them were from the northern Devil Island. They hid nearby and didn't act rashly. They were observing the living beings fighting. Xing Yuhua from the Xing clan vaguely caught sight of Yang Wu's figure. He sneered and said, "Yang Wu is indeed here. Our chance is here." Then, he told the sages of the northern Devil Island about Yang Wu's identity. "He's the one who killed Hong? He's also Yun Qi's current master?" A half-step Tongtian from the northern Devil Island asked. This was a half-step Tongtian middle-aged man. He wore an ice armor and carried a long spear on his back. He was riding on an ice wolf and exuded a shocking aura. He was Baiming Hong, ranked 36th on the prediction list. This person was one of the representatives of the northern Devil Island. "That's right. It's him," Xing Yuhua said confidently. "He's really strong. I'm not his match." Baiming Hong frowned and said, "That's right. This kid can already fight against Tongtian. Ordinary people really can't deal with him." A half-step Tongtian from the Xing clan side. "If it's during normal times, we might not be able to do anything to him. But now it might not be so," Xing Yuhua said. He then continued, "This time, we've invited the divine weapon from our clan. As long as he's heavily injured by that opponent, we can use the divine weapon to kill him. Even if he has 3 heads and 6 arms, we can still kill him." Baiming Hong said, "I have the heaven-binding ice net. As long as you give me a chance, I can capture him alive. Let's kill him and end it all." Xing Yuhua's eyes flashed with ruthlessness. They discussed for a while and decided to take advantage of the best opportunity to kill Yang Wu. They had a few martial sages on the predicted list here. As long as nothing unexpected happened, they would definitely live up to their names as martial sages. If they used their divine weapons, they should be able to kill the heavily injured Yang Wu. Yang Wu and the Jade Lion Patriarch fought fiercely. The other Jade Lions were injured and retreated far away. There were also some weaker Jade Lions that were killed on the spot. They were too strong and too abnormal. When Yang Wu activated the power of the Immortal Foundation, his battle power was abnormally strong. The Tao of Life and Death also contained the supreme power of the martial Tao. It could steal the life force of the Jade Lion and affect its battle power. If it wasn't for the fact that it was strong enough, under Yang Wu's continuous bombardment, it would have died long ago. The Jade Lion Patriarch had reached the high-level immortal realm and was much stronger than Yang Wu. It couldn't kill Yang Wu with its supreme power, which made it even angrier. Yang Wu became braver and braver as he fought. He used all his trump cards. He was already very satisfied to be able to fight to a draw with the Jade Lion Patriarch. There were a few times when he wanted to break through his realm and kill the Jade Lion Patriarch. But he suppressed it. The best opportunity hadn't come yet. He still needed to wait. The two of them kept exchanging moves. Yang Wu's body was broken by its spit. The Jade Lion Patriarch was also burned by Blue Enchantress's flames. He lost piles of lion fur. The man and lion fought until their heads were bleeding and their limbs were broken. They kept recovering and continued to fight. Magnetic Sword Finger. Fighting Soul Slaying God. Yang Wu's body and soul attacked at the same time. His dark force and soul attacked the Jade Lion Patriarch. Lion Roar. Jade Claw Broken World. The Jade Lion Patriarch's attack was also amazing. It was more destructive than Yang Wu's. It broke through 2 layers of Yang Wu's armor and exposed Yang Wu's organs. The Big Dipper sword appeared again and slashed the Jade Lion Patriarch's abdomen. Yang Wu used the void travel technique again and kept changing his position to kill the Jade Lion Patriarch. Unfortunately, the Jade Lion Patriarch was much stronger than him. Every time he attacked, the Jade Lion Patriarch could react and fight back. At this point, he had already displayed a very powerful strength. The Jade Lion Patriarch finally couldn't wait any longer. He suddenly spat out a jade arrow and shot it at Yang Wu. Poof! Yang Wu's chest was pierced through by the jade arrow, and his body was sent flying backward. That was a god-level jade arrow. It was the Jade Lion Patriarch's natal divine weapon. Once it was shot, it would kill. Countless creatures had died under the Jade Lion Patriarch's attack. Roar, roar, I finally killed you. The Jade Lion Patriarch was very excited. It's too early for you to be happy. Electric Fork, come out. Yang Wu's voice resounded again. Another divine weapon appeared. The terrifying power of thunder and lightning gathered in a flash. A magnetic field of electric forks suddenly appeared. A divine light of thunder and lightning descended from the sky and enveloped the patriarch of the Jade Lion clan. Boom! Boom! The terrifying electric forks exploded together with the divine lightning. The entire space was in chaos. The Jade Lion Patriarch couldn't dodge in time and was caught in the middle of the electric forks. In an instant, his divine body was blasted apart. Lion blood splattered everywhere. His appearance was really miserable. The creatures who were watching from afar turned pale. If any of them were to get close to such a destructive force, they would definitely die. Can you attack again? The Xing family's half-step to Sky murmured. Baiming Hong didn't dare to speak. Such power wasn't something he could compete with. He didn't want to be eliminated so early. However, Xing Yuhua was still filled with hatred. He said, "He is already severely injured. If he uses this move again, he will use up all his energy. This is the best chance to kill him. If we miss this chance, there won't be a next time. Let's charge over now." Xing Yuhua's guts were not ordinary. Under his encouragement, a woman from the North Demon Island said, "That makes sense. It's worth the risk." Baiming Hong gritted his teeth and said, "Okay, let's try." When the power of the electric forks disappeared, Baiming Hong shouted, "Attack!" At the next moment, a saint activated the space-breaking talisman. He brought a few of them and flew towards Yang Wu and the Jade Lion Patriarch. Sky-binding ice net. Punisher divine sword. 2 divine weapons flew out at the same time. A huge ice net flew towards Yang Wu and the Jade Lion Patriarch. It covered an area of 10 miles, as if it was going to swallow the entire world. In addition, the Punisher Divine Sword was a terrifying divine weapon from hell. It was definitely not weaker than the Big Dipper. Under the Xing family's control, it displayed boundless killing power. It could kill gods and demons. Yang Wu and the Jade Lion Patriarch were indeed severely injured. After Yang Wu was hit by the Jade Arrow, he couldn't get rid of the Jade Murderous Qi immediately. He couldn't recover and needed some time. Just like what Xing Yuhua said, after using the electromagnetic aura, his body was drained. The Jade Lion Patriarch's body was shattered by the power of the divine weapon. He was severely injured and couldn't recover in a short time. They were all fighting with all their strength. They didn't expect someone to suddenly intervene. Jade Lion, the three monsters, and the four-blade mantis who were watching from afar didn't have time to react. Baiming Hong, Xing Yuhua, and the others rushed in. When they came to help, it was too late. The sky-binding ice net covered Yang Wu and the Jade Lion Patriarch. The Punisher Divine Sword was going to kill them on the spot. Yang Wu summoned the black pot in time and hid under it. He completely blocked the Punisher Divine Sword's attack. The Jade Lion Patriarch didn't have it so good. He had just been hit by the Divine Thunder and his divine body hadn't recovered yet. Now he was attacked again. He was furious. Roar. Roar. He kept roaring. The Jade Arrow flew out again, shooting towards Baiming Hong, Xing Yuhua, and the others. High-level immortal realm creatures had strong survival instincts. They wouldn't be killed so easily. The Jade Arrow shot was too fast. Xing Yuhua was the first one. He didn't even have time to react before his throat was pierced. He covered his neck and opened his eyes wide. Before he could say anything, blood spurted out from his neck. The Jade Murderous Qi corroded his body, and he died on the spot. Because of his impulsiveness, he had lost his life here. The Jade Arrow continued to change direction and shot towards the others. Puff, puff. Many people were hit by the Jade Arrow. Their divine armors couldn't protect them. They were pierced through and corroded by the Jade Murderous Qi. Baiming Hong was lucky. He was born sensitive to life. The moment the Jade Arrow came, he instinctively performed the Shift Secret skill. He was lucky enough to avoid the fatal attack. At the same time, the sky-binding ice net had tied up Yang Wu and the Jade Lion Patriarch. Baiming Hong made up his mind. He took out a pearl with explosive power and threw it at Yang Wu and the Jade Lion Patriarch. Die. Ice-breaking pearl. When it exploded, it released extremely cold qi. The ice crystals seeped into the body and were very fatal. Other than that, he used all his strength. Waves of cold power fell into the sky-binding ice net. This immortal ice net also released extremely cold qi. It was going to freeze Yang Wu and the Jade Lion Patriarch to death. Since he had attacked, he had to kill the enemy. Nether Ice-Winged Blade. At the crucial moment, Yang Wu made his move once again. Waiting for death wasn't the best choice. It was better to fight back. The Nether Ice-Winged Blade was much weaker. It couldn't break Baiming Hong's divine armor. Haha, you're all going to die in my hands. Baiming Hong laughed excitedly. It was a happy thing to kill a martial saint who was in the top 10 of the predicted list and a high-level immortal realm creature. Suddenly, a fiery sword momentum pierced through his back. Chapter 1546. Baiming Hong was waiting for an opportunity to strike, but he didn't know that someone else was waiting for an opportunity to strike as well. Xianyuan Huowu, who had been using her phoenix fire to protect herself, suddenly appeared. Her hidden talent was also astonishing. Baiming Hong was in a state of extreme nervousness, so he didn't notice her existence at all. She succeeded in one strike. After the phoenix sword pierced into his body, the phoenix aura burst out. Baiming Hong was scared out of his wits. The cold energy condensed, blocking Xianyuan Huowu's attack. Boundless cold energy floated, wanting to freeze Xianyuan Huowu as well. Such cold energy is useless against me. Xianyuan Huowu had the fire body, and her phoenix fire was unparalleled. She continued to explode, melting Baiming Hong's energy. Baiming Hong took the opportunity to break away from Xianyuan Huowu's attack. He put away the sky-binding ice net and fled. Yang Wu and the Jade Lion Patriarch were still trapped in the sky-binding ice net. The Jade Lion race's deity rank expert and the deity rank puppet controlled by Yang Wu joined forces to attack. How could Baiming Hong take away Yang Wu and the Jade Lion Patriarch? It's not that easy to catch me. Baiming Hong took out another divine item. It was an extreme ice shuttle. After he poured his energy into it, he prepared to break open the space and escape. At the same time, a black cauldron in his heaven-binding ice net grew bigger and bigger, and a terrifying rebounding force came crashing down on him. Puff! Baiming Hong couldn't bear this force. He was directly forced to vomit blood and roll away. This time, he was really scared out of his wit. He put away the sky-binding ice net and used the extreme ice shuttle to escape. He didn't dare to have any thoughts about Yang Wu and the Jade Lion Patriarch anymore. Kill! Yang Wu opened his soul eye and stared at Baiming Hong. Soul eye extinguisher. The Jade Lion Patriarch spat out another jade arrow at Baiming Hong. The jade arrow shot out. Even if Baiming Hong had 10 lives, he wouldn't be able to escape from these two experts. Puff! The soul of this expert from the northern Devil Island was destroyed, and his body was corroded. He died on the spot. Yang Wu channeled his Tao of life to absorb the surrounding Xian energy of heaven and earth, gathering it into his body. The wounds on his body were constantly healing. He had also refined the inferior immortal liquid and bamboo spring of life in his universe space. He would not allow himself to show any signs of weakness. In addition, the most troublesome thing was the place where the Jade Lion Patriarch had injured him. It would take some time for the Jade Fiend Qi to dissolve. Fortunately, his Emperor Jade Mystic Essence Qi could deal with it. Leader Jade Lion no longer dared to be arrogant. He dragged his injured body and left. Before he left, he looked at Yang Wu. He wanted to remember Yang Wu. Not to seek revenge in the future, but to not provoke him in the future. This kid was a powerful madman. After Baiming Hong died, his sky-binding ice net fell into the hands of Yang Wu. The Punisher godly sword had a spirit of its own, and it flew back to the Xing family to take them away from this place. Yang Wu didn't have time to bicker with them for the time being. He needed to recover from his injuries first. Who knew what other deity experts would pop out? This battle was too dangerous. If he was careless, he might really die. Xianyuan Huowu wasn't having a good time either. Although she had refined the divine liquid and recovered some strength, her battle prowess would be greatly reduced in a short time. This was the first time she felt that her strength was too weak. She had always thought that she was strong enough to stay in the third layer of the last world. Now, it seemed that she had taken it for granted. This is the immortal liquid. Take it. Yang Wu took out the immortal liquid again and gave it to Xianyuan Huowu. Xianyuan Huowu refused again. It's too precious. What if you have ulterior motives towards me? Yang Wu smiled bitterly and said, take it as a reward for treating your illness. If you don't want it, I'll throw it away. In the next moment, Xianyuan Huowu quickly snatched it. This is a reward. Of course I want it. Xianyuan Huowu said with a happy expression. And go back and rest. Recover as soon as possible. Yang Wu replied and returned to the three monster clans' territory with Xianyuan Huowu to recuperate. They had deity-level living puppets guarding them. Nothing would happen in a short time. Moreover, the Jade Lion Patriarch had been forced to retreat. There were no other major clans nearby. This also meant that they would be much safer in the future. As for the people from the Xing clan and the northern Devil Island who had already fled, they naturally wouldn't return. The strength that Yang Wu and the Jade Lion Patriarch had displayed was too strong. It was far beyond their imagination. However, this didn't stop them from doing bad things. They told everyone that Yang Wu had obtained a deity treasury and was hiding in the three monster clans to digest it. They also said that Yang Wu wanted to become the #1 martial saint. He didn't put anyone in his eyes and even killed the northern Devil Islands Biming Hong. The 4 extraterritorial islands had come inland together. They were extremely united. Now that Biming Hong had been killed, if the news spread to the ears of the experts of the 4 extraterritorial islands, they would definitely cause trouble for Yang Wu. However, some people wouldn't be fooled so easily. It wasn't so easy for the Xing clan to use them as tools. As time passed, the saints who had entered the end world space were sent out one after another. Some people who wanted to stay in the first and second floor for a long time were woken up from their dreams. After a year, they would be sent out from the first and second floor. Some people who wanted to accumulate strength in the first and second floor to enter the third floor were inexplicably eliminated. Why was I sent out? Didn't they say that whoever stayed in the end world for the longest time could become a martial saint? Woo-woo, I was just about to enter the third floor. I don't accept this. I don't accept this. Those who stayed in the first and second floor only had 1 floor. Those who didn't enter the third floor were naturally sent out. No one can be lucky. The jade pendant has already sensed it. I wonder how many people will enter the third floor. Some saints shouted unwillingly. They weren't weak, but they were lucky. In the end, they were all eliminated. A divine voice resounded. Martial saints advance bravely. How can those who don't dare to enter the third floor become martial saints? You can all wait for me to leave. After everyone heard the voice of the guardian, most of them felt ashamed. A portion of them didn't care. It was good enough that they could survive and gain something. They never thought of fighting for the title of martial saint. A large number of names on the martial saint stele disappeared. What remained were the names of the saints who had entered the third floor. Out of the 1,080,000 saints, nearly 1,000,000 of them were eliminated. A portion of them lost their lives in the end world space, never to come out again. As for the remaining 100,000 saints, they were all candidates for martial saint. After reaching the third floor, the speed of elimination was much faster. Almost every day, someone would be sent out from the end world space. Isn't that a saint ranked in the top 10,000? He was also eliminated. He's nothing. I just saw a powerful person ranked in the top 1,000 get eliminated. I'm afraid there's great danger there. Look, someone's name disappeared, but he can't come out again. After entering the third floor's end world space, there were too many unpredictable factors. If some martial saints on the end world space accidentally encountered some powerful races, they could only run for their lives. If they encountered a god-level creature, they would still be eliminated. They couldn't have any resentment. They were clear about the situation in the third floor. It was fair to everyone. If they couldn't hold on for that long, any excuse would just be nonsense. True experts wouldn't be lacking in strength or opportunities. The last 10,000 people who hadn't been eliminated were all worthy of the title of martial saint. In the end world space, all the saints were hiding here and there. They tried their best to stay here as long as possible. They didn't even have the thought of collecting the divine objects here. The creatures here were too powerful. A god-level creature could appear at any time. It was too frightening. Those powerful people who were predicted to be in the top 10 of the martial saint ranking were still very powerful here. For example, Putuluo of the Heavenly Bamboo Temple had even purified some of the original creatures here. His dharma was incomparably profound. Like the second martial saint, Xiezhen, there were also people who saw him slaughter a god-level creature with a single slash. His strength was so abnormal that it was frightening. The third martial saint, Tu Yanyan, was a woman who could change her appearance easily. No one could easily see through her identity. In any case, she must have reached this floor. Yama Palace's evil child king was like a fish in water here. He slaughtered a lot of creatures here, and his death Tao had reached a new level. No one wanted to get close to such a death god. As for Yang Wu, his reputation had become even more resounding. Under the exaggeration of Xing clan and Northern Devil Island, he could already be compared to the previous martial saint. With Yang Wu's reputation, there were very few people who dared to look for him. Instead, there were people he knew who came to look for him. After all, Jiang Ping had also entered the End World. Moreover, his strength had increased tremendously. Yang Wu could see with a glance that he had reached the 10th level of Star Rune Realm. He was not much weaker than Xianyuan Huowu. After seeing Xianyuan Huowu, Jiang Ping's saliva was all over the floor. If not for Xianyuan Huowu being stronger than him and in front of Yang Wu, he would have probably pounced on her. In addition, Jiang Ping had done a good deed. This guy had actually met the nuns of the Heng Mountain sect. He had even lent them a hand and brought them to seek refuge with Yang Wu. Jiang Ping's reputation was not good. At first, these nuns did not dare to stay with him. However, he had brought out Yang Wu's name. Qing Jing was also certain that Jiang Ping was sincerely protecting them. Only then did they allow Jiang Ping to stay with them. However, this guy really did not have good intentions. He always had ideas about the little nun Jingqing. Fortunately, he did not dare to use force. Otherwise, the old nuns here would definitely fight him to the death. After not seeing her for so many years, Jingqing had become even more extraordinary. Originally, she was born with the pure lotus heart. Her cultivation could advance by leaps and bounds. Now, she had reached the 5th level of Star Rune Realm. This was also under the circumstance that she was not like other people who went around adventuring and looking for opportunities. When Yang Wu saw Jingqing, he was very happy. Junior sister Jingqing, long time no see. You have grown up. In the past, Jingqing was incomparably pure and innocent. She looked just like a young girl. Now there was not much change. The only change was that she had grown taller. Jingqing's expression changed slightly. Thank you for the praise, senior brother Yang Wu. By the way, I heard that you have become the sect master. Senior brother has yet to congratulate you. Chapter 1547. Jingqing had become the sect master of Heng Mountain sect a few years ago. Heng Mountain sect kept a low profile and didn't hold a grand celebration. They only informed their allies in a low-key manner. At that time, Yang Wu was traveling outside and didn't receive the news. However, the Yang family presented a congratulatory gift to him. After Yang Wu returned, someone in the family mentioned this matter to him. Jingqing became the leader of the Heng Mountain sect. Because of her relationship with Yang Wu, she had a closer relationship with the Heng Mountain sect. She also obtained part of the incantation of the 5 mountains sword scripture and supported Shu Yu of the Heng Mountain sect to become the alliance leader. Currently, the 5 mountains sect was in constant internal strife. Mount Song and Mount Tai had joined forces, while Heng Mountain and Heng Mountain had joined forces. In fact, Hua Mountain was a neutral sect. Yang Wu also took out a drop of immortal liquid and gave it to Qing Jing as a congratulatory gift. Qing Jing naturally declined, but Yang Wu forced her to accept it. Only then did she silently accept it. Even if she became the sect master of Heng Mountain, she still couldn't let go in front of Yang Wu. Jiang Ping saw this clearly. He sighed in his heart, "My junior brother isn't as romantic as senior brother. Senior brother won't even let a little nun go. What a beast." If Yang Wu heard Jiang Ping's complaints, he would definitely beat him up. When he first came to the transcendent world, Jiang Ping captured Qing Jing. That was how they met. Who was the one who wouldn't let a little nun go? Yang Wu didn't mind having more people around him. It was time to unite his people. He asked Jiang Ping to go out and search for traces of the Yang family. Once he found them, he would bring them over. Jiang Ping didn't want to do it. Why should he listen to Yang Wu and search for people? Yang Wu had no choice but to lift Lu Ji up and say, "If you don't help me find people, your husband might be bullied. Do you have the heart to let those disgusting men run around him?" "No, even if my husband is a man, I still like him. I'll go find him." Jiang Ping couldn't stand the provocation and left to find Lu Ji. Xianyuan Huowu came to Yang Wu's side and asked, "Are we going to stay here forever?" She hadn't used Yang Wu's immortal liquid yet. She planned to use it at the most critical moment. Yang Wu smiled and said, "There's no rush. Let's gather our forces first. There might be a fierce battle ahead." The most powerful people here were the original humans. They were very xenophobic. Once the other races were unable to drive them away, the original human race would take action to drive them away. They were in charge here. This was also the reason why Yang Wu wanted to gather his forces. On the first and second levels, he was at ease letting them train on their own. Now that they were on this level, he couldn't be at ease. In the following days, many people were eliminated every day. No one could think of getting lucky. Some people slowly gathered around Yang Wu. His father, Yang Zhenan, Yang Ba, Su Chu, and the others were still around. A portion of the Yangs had also been eliminated. In addition, some people from the Sun family also gathered around him. After all, there were too few people like Yang Wu who had conquered 2 races. And the place he was at was a quiet place. Not long after, people from the Mount Heng sect and the Sun family arrived one after another. However, not many of them came. Yang Wu also heard that Shu Yuqing and Shu Yujun had been eliminated. Yang Wu couldn't be happy when he heard this news. One was his father-in-law and the other was his wife. They had actually been eliminated. One had to know that both of them had cultivated the authentic 5 Mountains sword scripture. They were already very powerful. Especially Shu Yujun, who had taken the sword demon as her master. In 10 years, her improvement was even more obvious. How could she be eliminated so easily? The people from the Mount Heng sect roughly explained the situation. It turned out that they had been attacked by the creatures here. They had already won with great difficulty. Who knew that the Mount Song sect, Mount Tai sect, and some other sages would come down the mountain and force them into a corner. In order to save their lives, they could only be eliminated. Fortunately, they were all alive. Yang Wu wasn't so irritable. "It seems that they don't want to stay here any longer," Yang Wu said in a low voice. Then, he said to the half-step immortal ascension from Mount Heng, "Do you know where they are? We'll have to look for them to know. Changes can happen at any time here." "I can't guarantee it," the person from the Mount Heng sect replied. However, not long after he finished speaking, a group of people fled towards them in a sorry state. He hurriedly cried out, "It's the bastards from the Mount Song sect and Mount Tai sect. You came at the right time. I'll allow you to take the 3 freaks to deal with them." Yang Wu smiled coldly. He sent the 3 spiritual gods to the half-step immortal ascension from Mount Heng sect. He also took a group to deal with the Mount Song sect and Mount Tai sect. The half-step immortal ascension from Mount Heng sect was overjoyed. He cupped his hands and said, "Chui Chu orders." Nothing could make him happier than to do it. Chui Chu led the 3 freaks and charged forward. "You bastards who caused the elimination of the Alliance head, die!" he shouted. The people from Mount Song and Mount Tai were already frightened. When Chui Chu suddenly appeared with so many of the 3 freaks, they completely panicked. "Chui Chu, you dare to collude with these outsiders? You're crazy! You bastard from Mount Heng, how dare you! Hurry up and work together to destroy them." There were only 40 or so of them. How could they compare to hundreds of the 3 freaks? Not to mention, the 3 freaks had joined the battle. They were doomed. However, no matter how they struggled, they were all destined to be eliminated. However, there was one person who surprised them. That was Zhuo Qiufeng, ranked 378th on the prediction list. This woman was Imperial Tutor's granddaughter. Her cultivation talent had always been outstanding, and she was also very beautiful. Many people pursued her. However, she had said that she wouldn't marry until she reached immortal ascension. This also meant that if she wanted to find a cultivation partner, she would only choose immortal ascension experts. Cui Chu hadn't expected Zhuo Qiufeng to be able to break through the encirclement of the three freaks. Zhuo Qiufeng's strength was astonishing. Her autumn wind sword seemed invincible. For a woman to have this kind of strength was incredible. Not only that, but she also wielded a divine sword. She turned into an autumn wind and cut a bloody path. Just as Zhuo Qiufeng was about to escape, a figure blocked her path like the wind. Zhuo Qiufeng looked at the youth in front of her. Her beautiful eyes rippled with surprise. She calmly asked, "You're Yang Wu?" Yang Wu nodded. "I am Yang Wu. You're really good-looking and powerful. Why don't you be my man? I'm much stronger than Shu Yujun. Whether it's in bed or out of bed, I'm confident that I can satisfy you," Zhuo Qiufeng said confidently. The number one beauty of the Five Mountains sect was not boasting. She did have the ability to do so. She wore a simple martial attire and did not have any fancy accessories. She did not put on any makeup. Her face was fair and delicate, and her facial features were exquisite. Her figure was abnormally tall, and her slender legs were swaying in front of any man, causing his blood to boil. Yang Wu sized Zhuo Qiufeng up and smiled. "You're really beautiful. I can't bear to kill you." "Young master, you can't let her go. She's Imperial Tutor's granddaughter," Cui Chu shouted. He was worried that Yang Wu wouldn't be able to resist Zhuo Qiufeng's temptation. That would be a disaster. "That's right, Grand Preceptor Zhuo is my grandfather. You should be clear about his strength. If you marry me, my grandfather will definitely stand behind you. You will be like a tiger that has grown wings and will have great achievements in your career. No matter how you look at it, you will be stronger than Shu Yujun. Moreover, I don't mind her existence, but I must be the main wife. That's right, I also heard that you are infatuated with a girl from the Purple Cloud Palace. I can see that you are a devoted man, even if you have one or two wild flowers by your side. I can see that your nature is very good. I won't lose out by marrying you, and it will be even better if you marry me," she said. "Your Yang clan is a good clan. Especially after your rise, you've developed rapidly. You need a woman who can control you. I've been learning to control the internal and external affairs of the sect since I was young. I'll be able to handle these things easily. You also have the identity of a divine apothecary. I can definitely help the Yang clan become a powerhouse." The people in the distance were stunned when they heard Zhuo Qiufeng's confident words. They had seen many confident women, but they had never seen one as confident as her. Her aura was indeed very domineering, and she indeed had the qualifications to be so confident. It wasn't something that other women could compare to. Even Chao Jifei and the third princess of the Xianyuan clan would lose in front of her for the time being. Just as she said, she was a woman who had paid great attention to training in all aspects since she was young. She clearly understood many things and had the confidence to say such words. This woman is really shameless. To think that she can say such words so confidently. Xianyuan Huowu said with dissatisfaction. She then asked Jingqing, "Sect Master Jingqing, don't you think so?" Jingqing clasped her hands and said, "Amitba. Actually, that young lady is speaking from the bottom of her heart. She really does have the ability. If senior brother Yang Wu marries her, it will be a great help to him." Xianyuan Huowu was stunned. She wanted Qing Jing to speak on her side, but why did Qing Jing speak on her side instead? This honest little nun. Xianyuan Huowu secretly scolded in her heart. This woman is really not bad. Yang Ba crossed his arms in front of his chest and said with certainty. Unfortunately, she's too eager for quick success and instant benefit. Su Chu echoed. Yang Wu was also confused by this woman's words. He didn't seem to have said anything, so why was this woman able to nag so much? Was it interesting? "Are you done?" Yang Wu asked back. Zhuo Qiufeng stared blankly and said, "I'm almost done. Could it be that you're not moved at all?" Yang Wu nodded and said, "I'm very tempted." He paused for a moment and said, "You can leave now." "What do you mean?" Do you think I'm arrogant and talking nonsense? No, it's just that you don't know what love is. Chapter 1548. Zhuqiufeng left the third level. Teleported out of the end world space, she was still dazed for a long time and did not come back to her senses. When the surrounding people saw her appear, they all revealed incomparably shocked expressions. This was a quasi-martial saint ranked more than 300 on the prediction list. She was actually eliminated so quickly. In addition, what made them absent-minded was still her beauty. She was a woman whose beauty was beyond description. She was the target of many men's pursuit, but no one had succeeded until now. Someone quietly walked over and comforted, "Fairy Zhua, don't be sad, anyone would be interested, get lost." Zhuqiufeng came back to her senses and sent this saint flying with a slap. How outstanding was her strength! Even a top-tier saint was not enough to look at in front of her. This tragic saint had his face smacked rotten and had nowhere to cry. The others were rejoicing that they did not approach this woman. She was not someone who could be conquered. This was a rose with thorns. I don't know what is love? I don't know what is love? Yang Wu, just you wait, I'll let you know what is love. Zhuqiufeng shouted loudly. Instantly, everyone heard it clearly. So this woman was stimulated by Yang Wu, or was she abandoned by Yang Wu? For a moment, everyone thought of many scenarios. Then, all kinds of versions spread out very quickly. Zhuqiufeng was infatuated with Yang Wu. Unfortunately, Yang Wu did not love her and abandoned her. Zhuqiufeng was possessed by Yang Wu and was heartlessly abandoned in the end. Different versions and different rumors began to spread. Yang Wu had another romantic affair. In the end world space, Yang Wu naturally did not know that these things would inexplicably appear. Even if he knew, he would also not take it seriously. At this time, he was leading his group towards the Jade Lion race. After the Jade Lion race sensed Yang Wu's arrival, they were all ready for battle. One lion roar after another sounded in all directions. Yang Wu, Xianyuan Huowu, Yang Zhenan, Yang Ba, Su Chu, and the others stood in formation. Beside them were the three monstrous creatures and the four-blade mantis creature. They looked like they wanted to conquer the Jade Lion race. What are you doing here? Do you want to fight again? The Jade Lion Patriarch rushed out and roared. He looked at Yang Wu anxiously, his eyes filled with fear. Yang Wu looked at Patriarch Jade Lion and said, "I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to talk. I have nothing to say to you outsiders," the Jade Lion Patriarch said sternly. No, we didn't know each other until we fought. How can we say that we have nothing to talk about? Who would recognize you? I want some jade crystal liquid, lion jade, and some natural treasures that your clan possesses. Get lost, we don't have them. You have to consider carefully. This time I came prepared. We won't leave until we beat your clan to a pulp. We can leave at any time, but you can only stay here forever. Once you're crippled, there will be even more races that want to suppress you. Moreover, I won't take you for free. I also have good things to exchange with you. Yang Wu's carrot-and-stick approach left the Jade Lion Patriarch helpless. In the end, the Jade Lion Patriarch could only compromise. He was willing to provide Yang Wu with a batch of natural treasures. In return, Yang Wu had to provide them with a batch of jade veins. The Jade Lion race loved sucking jade chi the most. It was the best power for them to advance. Yang Wu had obtained a few jade veins during his 10 years of travel. He could use them to exchange with the Jade Lion race. After the exchange, Yang Wu didn't stay any longer and returned home. During this period of time, the battle atmosphere in the final world space became more and more intense. Even if they stayed in the three monster clans' territory, they could still sense the fierce battles in other directions. They also realized that this place wasn't a peaceful place forever. Sure enough, not long after, the flames of war spread to this place. The three monster clans and the four-blade mantis clan weren't the strongest clans. The Grand Tiger clan, Wild Bull clan, and Devil Tail clan were the strongest. Someone intentionally led the flames of war here. Wild Bull Clan's god-level experts rushed to the three monster clans' territory to drive away the outsiders. Moo! The Wild Bull Clan emitted a terrifying sound wave that wasn't any weaker than the lion roar of the Jade Lion Clan. Everyone found it hard to bear the terrifying sound of impact. At this moment, Xianyuan Huowu suggested, "Let's enter the human city. That's the martial saints' final battlefield." The human city was the place where the original humans stayed. It was also the only pure land in this place. However, that place was even more xenophobic. It wasn't a place where anyone could casually approach. However, once one could enter that place, it meant that one had the qualifications to stay on this level for a long time. The title of Martial Saint was something that was set in stone. Only 10,000 outsiders were allowed to enter that place. Once the quota was filled, no one could enter. Many saints were trying their best to enter that place, hoping to obtain a quota. Xianyuan Huowu had already told Yang Wu about this. The main reason why Yang Wu hadn't moved yet was because he wanted to wait for the people around him. He wanted to bring them along. Now that Lu Ji, white-haired Demoness, and the others hadn't arrived, he was afraid that they had encountered something else. He could only set off for the human city. Yang Wu had the three monster clans and four blade mantis clans block the Wild Bull Clan's expert. He led the group behind him and left this place. Along the way, they would encounter attacks from other clans. There was no lack of god-level experts among them. Although Yang Wu's battle prowess was astonishing and could resist some god-level experts, it didn't mean that others had the same ability. Some of the saints who followed him couldn't avoid being eliminated. After all, Yang Wu wasn't omnipotent. He couldn't take care of just anyone. By the time they killed their way to the human city, there were only 12 of them left. The others had all been eliminated. These 12 were Yang Wu, Xianyuan Huowu, Yang Zhenan, Yang Ba, Su Chu, Cui Chu, Sun Wei, Sun Jiujiu, Xianyuan Xingyang, Qing Jing, Abysin Ru, and Xiahou Lai. Only Cui Chu was left from the Mount Heng school. The other two had already been eliminated. Sun Wei and Sun Jiujiu were still around. A few others had also been eliminated. Xianyuan Xingyang and Xiahou Lai belonged to the Xianyuan clan. The 12 of them passed through layers of obstacles and arrived in front of the ancient but not majestic city. They all felt a sense of relief. Apart from them, a few other saints also arrived. They were all in a wretched state. Most of them were heavily injured. Some were still swallowing pills to refine. Only a small portion of them were lightly injured. Along the way, many powerful clans had attacked them. There was no lack of god-rank experts. They were already extremely lucky to have escaped death. Even Yang Wu felt that this layer of space was incomparably dangerous. He didn't know if it would be even more terrifying in the Myriad Saints' assembly. If that was the case, he would probably have to prepare for a tough battle. Why are they all staying outside to recuperate? No one is going in? Yang Wu asked in confusion. Xianyuan Huowu replied, "I'm afraid we can only enter after everyone has arrived." Why is that? The humans here won't allow so many people to enter. Naturally, they have to eliminate some of them first. We should know what's going on soon. They won't let us in. Are we just going to obediently stay outside? Let's wait and see. They're the strongest clan here. It's definitely not that simple. As expected, Yang Wu soon saw with his own eyes why so many saints were staying outside and not daring to enter. There was a half-step into heaven-piercing realm expert who wanted to directly charge into the city. However, before he could even get close, he was slapped into a pool of blood on the spot. Such a powerful force instantly intimidated many people. This was the power of a god-rank expert. Moreover, it wasn't an ordinary god-rank expert. After all the saints had gathered here, they would discuss how to enter the city. As the days passed, more and more saints gathered here. Jiang Ping finally arrived with Lu Ji. Other than Lu Ji, there was also Yang families Yang Chaohui and the masked Meng Bingshu. Meng Bingxue was now the leader of Marquis Gang. Others didn't know her identity. Moreover, she was disguised as a man. In addition, Yang Wu had taught her the art of myriad transformations. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to see through her identity. The reason why they were together was because Meng Bingxue had helped Lu Ji. After all, Meng Bingxue and Lu Ji knew each other. Moreover, Lu Ji was a member of Marquis Gang a long time ago. Lu Ji had the yin-yang pupil. With a glance, he could see through Meng Bingxue's identity. He instantly knew who she was. Jiang Ping was also not an ordinary person. He knew women like the back of his hand. He often looked at Meng Bingxue with a doubtful gaze. He suspected that this leader of Marquis Gang was a woman. The facts proved that his suspicion was correct. He wanted to take advantage of Meng Bingxue several times, but he didn't succeed. Yang Wu had used the immortal liquid and divine items to help Meng Bingxue become a peak saint. Her fighting strength was no longer comparable to before. After they arrived, Yang Zixing, Jin Yuchen, and Jin Yu Hao also arrived. Yang Wu was completely relieved after seeing them. In this place, the one he cared about the most was Yang Zixing. This little guy really knew how to cause trouble. Moreover, he and Xie Tian had become the prodigies of this year's Martial Saint Conference. They were the candidates for the strongest overlord of the transcendent world in the future. Yang Wu's enemies knew about Yang Zixing's existence. There were already people who wanted to deal with Yang Zixing many times. Among them, King of Hell's Palace had tried to kill Yang Zixing many times. Fortunately, he was able to escape in time. In addition, Purple Cloud Palace knew that Yang Zixing had the innate Thunder God's body. On one hand, they wanted to pull him into Purple Cloud Palace. On the other hand, they wanted to destroy him. It was very contradictory. Xing, have you seen Xie Tian? Yang Wu asked after seeing Yang Zixing. That little brat is really like a ghost that won't go away. I always meet him, and he even stole many good things that I found. He really pisses me off. Wait until I unseal my power, I will definitely teach him a lesson. Yang Zixing replied with an unhappy face. Yang Wu was relieved. As long as Xie Tian was alive and well, he didn't have to worry about him for now. He asked again, "What about Nan Nan? Didn't you meet her?" "I met her. She was taken away by the natives here." "What?" Chapter 1549. The indigenous people were the original humans here. They were the strongest in this space and were in the city in front of them. The city was actually very simple and crude. It was only surrounded by a layer of earth wall. Compared to the tall and hard city walls outside, it was like heaven and earth. However, such a layer of earth wall was enough to stop all saints. No one dared to go near it. Yang Wu panicked when he heard that Nan Nan had been taken away by the indigenous people. Nan Nan was the hope left behind by his master. She was the hope to rebuild the heavenly palace. She was also his sister. If anything happened to her, he would go crazy. Fortunately, Yang Zixing explained that the indigenous people did not take her away by force. Nan Nan was willing to go with them. Yang Wu was instantly relieved. If Nan Nan had been taken away by force, he might have forced his way into the city. After another half a month, more than 80,000 saints had gathered outside the city. Only a fraction of the 1,080,000 saints had gathered here. It was clear how dangerous this space was. Many saints who knew each other gathered in twos and threes, ready to plan how to enter the city and decide the final candidate for the martial sage. Before they could come up with a plan, all kinds of living beings approached from all directions. Screech, roar, roar. Birds, beasts, foreign races, and hundreds of monsters kept roaring angrily. Their earth-shaking momentum was very frightening. The expressions of the saints here changed drastically. Although 80,000 saints seemed to be a lot, compared to hundreds of thousands and nearly 1,000,000 living beings, they were extremely small. Moreover, these living beings were extremely powerful. Many of them had reached the divine realm. Were they going to surround them and wipe them out in one go? It's over, it's over. How are we going to fight this? Didn't they say that we would be safe after reaching this human city? This is a conspiracy. They want to force us all to leave, so they drove us here. I don't want to die here. I want to leave this place. Everyone, think of a way. We can't go on like this. Whoever can stay at the end will be the martial sage. Let's fight. These saints had all gone through various tests before coming here. They really did not want to give up here. The title of martial saint was right before their eyes. The great battle had begun. No one could avoid it. The birds and beasts, as well as the strange races, began to attack the 80,000 saints with incomparable ferocity. The earth-shattering attacks interweaved the sky into a gorgeous color. Even if it was a bunch of messy attacks, they were terrifyingly dense and powerful. Even a saint would find it difficult to block them easily. Immediately, a saint screamed. These powers were too strong and too domineering. They were completely unstoppable. Some of the saints thought that they could resist for a while, but unfortunately, they overestimated their own strength and underestimated the destructive power of these living beings. They were not prepared to retreat, and as a result, they died on the spot. The smarter saints would be able to crush the jade pendant in time and survive. Compared to the reputation of a martial saint, his life was more important. Yang Wu and the others were also under attack. He immediately took out the Black Walk and activated it to block most of the attacks for them, protecting them. Boom! Boom! Many attacks landed on the Black Walk, but they were unable to break through the Black Walk's defensive power. Long live the Patriarch! Long live the Black Walk! Yang Zisheng cheered. Patriarch, don't worry about us. We'll hold them off for as long as we can, Yang Chaohui said. He did not want to drag Yang Wu down and affect Yang Wu's ranking as a martial saint. Yang Ba also said, My lord, let us go out and fight. Su Chu also said, That's right. A battlefield like this is the best place to temper our strength. Yang Wu lightly shook his head and said, Now is not the time to fight recklessly. After a pause, he said, I think that as long as we stay until the end, there will be other tests. You must be prepared. Don't fight recklessly and leave this place. This was his final warning. Whether or not they could stay until the end would depend on their luck. With so many terrifying attacks, he could not hold on forever, but he would hold on for as long as he could. Some of the powerful half-step Tongtian experts and saints finally showed their extraordinary side. Some took out god-level defensive shields, some took out god-level weapons, and some even carried Xiantian weapons. All kinds of trump cards were used. It was like the 8 immortals crossing the sea, each showing their own magical abilities in order to maintain the final ranking. Whoever could stay until the end would be the final winner. However, they might pay a terrible price for it. Whether it was worth it or not, only they knew. In the chaotic battle, they learned that some of the saints of the human race had very powerful combat strength. For example, Putuluo, who was first on the prediction list, had Buddha's light floating around his every word and action, erasing many attacks. There were also god-level creatures around him who worked for him. These god-level creatures were the creatures here, converted by him. Xie Zhen of the Long Life Temple was an expert with the saber. Every time his saber fell, a creature would be killed by him. A terrifying saber domain formed, slaughtering nearly 100 saints. The creatures besieging him were frightened. This person was too terrifying. Xianyuan Shu, the eldest princess of the Xianyuan clan, was also terrifying. She was half-step to Heavenly Master and could easily kill god-level creatures. This woman killed a god-level wild bull with a single palm strike. The creatures around her were so frightened that they did not dare to get close to her. She was too domineering and powerful. In another direction, there was a young man with lightning flashing all over his body. He controlled the terrifying power of lightning. Not only could he block many attacks, but he could also react immediately, killing creatures under the lightning. There was also a monk full of evil chi. He tore apart powerful creatures with his bare hands and drank their blood. He did not look like a monk at all. Someone held a divine shield and a divine weapon and killed in all directions. He was really rich and overbearing. These were all powerful martial saint candidates. Whether or not they could stay in the end depended on their own luck. Relatively speaking, they were much stronger than many people, and their chances of staying were higher. There were also a few high-ranking martial sages who encountered extremely powerful god-level experts and were either killed or directly kicked out of the competition. The scene was extremely chaotic. The number of human saints was decreasing rapidly. Some of the saints were so desperate that they even rushed towards the city, wanting to enter the city to seek protection. Unfortunately, they were still unable to get close to the city before they were slapped to death by the power that flew out from the city. The city still had an unapproachable attitude. No one could take half a step into the city. Ah, didn't you say that this city could protect us? Could it be that it was all a lie? Let me in, let me in. I want to become a martial saint. We're all humans. Why can't you bear to see us get killed? These saints were in despair. They wanted to ask the humans in the city for a response. Unfortunately, no one answered them. They could only crush their jade tablets and leave. Yang Wu's side was also attacked by god-level experts. The ones fighting against them were the most powerful Tai tigers. When these Tai tigers rushed over, the people around Yang Wu panicked. This was one of the strongest ancient creatures in this layer of space. It was not a lie. Their attacks were extremely ferocious, and their killing power was the most powerful. Wave after wave of attacks bombarded Yang Wu's black pot. Yang Wu felt that it was very strenuous. He was afraid that he would not be able to hold on for long. He led them back and moved as close as possible to the human city. Even if they did not go in, it might be safer to get closer. In addition, he was also thinking about whether he should take them and force their way into the city. He had the black pot and could resist the god-level power from the city. In the end, he gave up on this idea. The humans in the city were known as the strongest creatures in this layer of space. Their strength was naturally extraordinary. There might even be some top god-level creatures. He was not arrogant enough to think that he could fight against them. Master, you take charge of defense. We will attack in formation. Lu Ji shouted. In the next moment, he spread out his palms. His fingertips were constantly moving. Crisscrossing energy shrouded the surroundings, forming a natural battle formation. He shouted again, Master, you take the Kuan position. I will take the Qian position. Everyone else, look at the formation cores I arranged and rush over. We will form the Heavenly Dragon formation. This formation was not very big. Every formation core was emitting light. The people present could easily fill the positions of the cores. When everyone was in place, they formed a Heavenly Dragon, bearing its fangs and brandishing its claws. Its aura was astonishing and incomparably powerful. Follow my instructions. Kill. 2 small flags appeared in Lu Ji's hands. He waved them left and right. The people behind him began to unleash powerful attacks. Kill. 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 Xianyuan Huowu, Yang Zhenan, Yang Ba, Jiang Ping, and the others did not hold back. They erupted with all their strength and attacked the Tai tigers on the left and right. Rumble, rumble. The two sides were fighting with all their might. From afar, it seemed as if a heavenly dragon was fighting with a group of tigers. It was an exceptionally spectacular sight. Fortunately, Lu Ji was proficient in channel formations and had an innate talent in formation patterns. Otherwise, they would have fallen into a bitter battle, and some of them would have been easily eliminated. Now, Yang Wu was in charge of defense while Lu Ji and the others were in charge of offense. They could really kill some Tai tigers and win a chance to survive. On the city's earthen walls, someone was standing on top of the city wall and watching the battle. Lord Patriarch, can you let my brother and the others in? A delicate voice sounded. Looking closely, it was Nan Nan. She was the first person to enter the city. Beside her was an old man who was bowing. This old man was wearing animal skins and holding a bone staff. His wrinkles were already very deep. He was the kind of old man who had lived for who knows how long. He replied, "The rules can't be broken." "What rules? Aren't you the biggest rule?" Nan asked. "Then," she added, "you can bring me in, but you can also bring them in. Hee, you are different from them. Wait a little longer. When there are only 10,000 people left, they can all come in together." Chapter 1550. In the intense battlefield, earth-shattering roars resounded in all directions. All kinds of energy explosions were deafening. Ordinary creatures would die if they were caught in it. The 80,000 saints were instantly reduced by 50,000. Only 30,000 were left. These 30,000 saints all had the ability to fight above their level. They were all strong contenders for the martial saint title. Whoever could last until the end would be the martial saint. "I must stay. I must stay. You bastards, go to hell. At this point, I will definitely have a place in the martial saint title. No one can stop me. You bastards, do you think you can do anything to me just because you have more people? Too naive. My arm is broken. Do I have to give up just like this? I can't accept this, I can't accept this." All the saints were facing off against so many powerful beings. They used all of their trump cards and all of their battle prowess, all for the sake of obtaining the title of Martial Saint. Martial Saint represented the strongest existence among the saints. It was worth fighting for with all their might. Unfortunately, the living beings here seemed to have been completely wiped out, and there was no end to them. It was not something they could resist at all. These creatures had different strength. The weakest was a minor saint, and the strongest was a deity. Their numbers were more than 10 times that of the human race. They could not form a big fight. The saints of the human race depended on who could last until the end. The people from the major forces were in a better position than the people from the smaller forces or the rogue cultivators. They were also in formation or using all kinds of powerful trump cards. They could still hold on bitterly, but they didn't know how long they could hold on. Fortunately, the Xian Qi in this world was very rich. They felt inexhaustible. This was also the reason why they could hold on. As the battle reached its climax, Yang Wu's side could not hold on any longer. They were targeted by the deity experts of the Tai Tiger clan. "You outsiders are interesting. You can even form formations. However, it's not enough. I want all of you to die." A huge Tai Tiger roared. Its body was emitting a murderous aura. A huge claw fell down. Its powerful divine force was about to send Yang Wu's black pot flying. "That black pot is a divine weapon. I want to take it back to the clan." Another Tai Tiger shouted. "Not just a divine weapon. There are others. It seems to be the divine weapon of the Phoenix clan. Take them all." Another Tai Tiger said. There were a total of 3 deity-level Tai Tigers. The strongest one was a mid-level deity. Its battle strength was not inferior to those high-level deity-level creatures. Tai Tigers were said to be the oldest race of the Tiger clan. They were almost comparable to the White Tiger clan. Their battle prowess was terrifying, and ordinary creatures would feel their legs go soft when facing them. I can't hold on. You guys continue to work together. I'll stop them." Yang Wu didn't care about anything else. He raised the black pot and smashed it towards the strongest Tai who, while his other hand held the Big Dipper sword and the Death Scythe. This time, he used all his battle strength again. He couldn't hold back anymore. He refined a drop of immortal liquid in his body to replenish the energy he had lost earlier. Then, he slashed out with his sword, creating a sword scar that seemed to want to shatter the entire galaxy. Then, he slashed out with his other saber, bringing with him an incomparable aura of death and a destructive power that could kill all living things. Yang Wu took on 3 deity-level Tai Tigers at the same time. One had to admit that he was very courageous. Yang Wu activated the power of his immortal root. He could explode with the same battle strength as the Jade Lion clan leader. He also had a divine weapon. Naturally, he had the guts. Sensing Yang Wu's strength, the three Tai Tigers were shocked. They continuously unleashed shocking attacks in an attempt to kill Yang Wu. Their attacks were so ferocious that even Yang Wu felt like he was about to fall from the sky when he was caught in the middle. Yang Wu could only use the black pot to smash them. He couldn't get close. His sword and saber slashed crazily to kill them. If it wasn't for the power of his immortal root, he wouldn't have been able to clash with them. The strongest Tai Tiger cried out in pain after being smashed by the black pot. Blood splattered everywhere. The other two Tai Tigers were killed by the saber and sword. They were also injured. When Yang Wu went all out, his killing power was too terrifying. Yang Wu wasn't having a good time either. He had to use the black pot as an attack, so his defensive power was naturally much weaker. Although the black tortoise battle armor on his body was powerful, there was still a limit to it. Under the continuous bombardment, it still shattered, and he couldn't continue to defend himself. Then, an Imperial Jade battle armor appeared on his body. This was more reliable than the godly armor he was wearing, but he was still covered in wounds. While Yang Wu was bitterly holding on, Xianyuan Houwu, Lu Ji, and Yang Zhenan were also doing their best to hold on. Xianyuan Houwu and Lu Ji finally refined the immortal liquid that Yang Wu gave them. They hadn't used the immortal liquid since they got it. Now they had no choice but to use it. Their strength was crazily rising. Their realms were also rising rapidly. The number of creatures they killed was also increasing. One of them was holding the Phoenix sword. Every slash was no weaker than a deity's attack. Their killing power was very high. The other was holding a huge gray feather. This feather was refined into a formation pen. As he waved it, the yin and yang qi floated and separated the attacking creatures. On the other side, Yang Zhenan was more ferocious than anyone else. He was stronger than Xianyuan Houwu. When Yang Wu couldn't protect them, he stepped forward bravely and directly faced a deity. Moreover, they were evenly matched. He was the one who was underestimated the most. As the killing continued, everyone gradually felt that they couldn't hold on. Even if more than half of the forces of the major forces were lost, there were only a few people who could hold on. If this continued, everyone would probably be eliminated. Could this be the result of becoming a martial saint using this method? Yang Wu was naturally unwilling to let it end like this. He still wanted to kill the three powerful Tai Tigers in front of him. He was preparing to break through the shackles and raise his realm. Once he broke through, his fighting strength would skyrocket. He would definitely be able to influence the battle. However, at this moment, a call to arms sounded. Woo woo! This sound spread to every corner of the battlefield. Even the sounds of battle were completely covered. When the creatures in battle heard this sound, they seemed to have received some kind of order. They all stopped fighting and quickly retreated. Among them were some deity-level creatures. None of them continued to stay. Tai Hu, who was fighting with Yang Wu, shouted unwillingly, "Count yourself lucky." The three Tai Tigers also retreated at the same time. The remaining saints were all baffled. This difficult battle had come to an end with the sound of the horn? The remaining saints lay on the ground on the spot. Their faces were covered in tears. Ah, it's finally over. It's finally over. Are we martial saints? Are we martial saints? What kind of horn is that? Could it be that an even more terrifying creature has appeared? It's good to be able to stay. This battle was too difficult. All the saints felt as if they had survived a disaster. They had indeed fought too hard in this battle. Yang Wu also wanted to increase his strength. In the end, the Tai Tigers ran away. His cultivation level was suppressed again. However, it would be difficult for him to suppress it for too long. The barrier was already very loose. If he continued to suppress it and not break through, it would cause his chi to not flow smoothly. It might even cause his dantian to overflow chaos. That would not be worth it. I must break through within this half a month, Yang Wu said with absolute certainty. Before Yang Wu could return to his people, they saw a team appear in the city. All the saints became nervous. There were not many people in this team, only about a few hundred. They were all in the prime of their lives. Each of them was riding a powerful creature. Some were riding a tiger, some were riding a bull, and some were riding a jade lion. They were all draped in beast skins, revealing their shoulders. They wore feather hoops on their heads, and their faces were smeared with some strange colors. Each of them had an old-fashioned expression. Their bodies exuded an extremely strong aura of battle. They were like warriors who had gone to war, majestic and mighty. Was it just these few dozen people who had scared off hundreds of thousands of living beings? If not, why didn't they see any other creatures? Soon, when the saints saw the ancient horns in their hands, they could all confirm that these people had come out to scare the creatures and save them. Were they really that intimidating? This team slowly walked toward the saint. The hooves of the mounts kept thundering, as if knocking on the saints' hearts, causing their breathing to become rapid. The saints quickly refined the pills and drank the holy spring to recover their combat strength. They did not want to be ambushed by these natives. I'll give you all a chance to enter the city. Charge through us. Those who can enter the city can stay. Those who can't, get out. The middle-aged man leading the tiger said faintly. After a pause, he added, "Oh, right. Only 10,000 of you can enter the city." Right now, there were about 17,000 saints left. This meant that another 7,000 people would be eliminated. However, to the saints, this was very good news. They had risked their lives to stay until now so that they could become martial saints. Breaking through the hundreds of people in front of them meant that they could become martial saints. Someone shouted, "Now it's our turn to bully the few with numbers. Everyone, charge. The last 10,000 people will be martial saints. Even if I have to risk my life, I will become a martial saint. I'll kill whoever stops me. I want to become a martial saint." Chapter 1551. All the saints had lost their minds. They rushed forward, wanting to break through the defense line of the few hundred people. When the saint at the front got close to the hundreds of people on the other side, the hundreds of people instantly split up. All of their spiritual chi gathered together and exploded out at the same time. They waved the ancient weapons in their hands at the same time. A terrifying force fused together and instantly blasted the people on the other side. Rumble, rumble. The terrifying power of the attack seemed to want to blow up the world. The saints who rushed over also unleashed their strongest combat power, wanting to force their way through. But when they came into contact with the other party's power, they instantly realized that their power was nothing compared to theirs. Their power was scattered, and they were quickly drowned by the other party's attack power. These saints didn't even have time to scream before they were killed on the spot. They didn't even have the chance to leave this place. After these natives attacked and killed hundreds of saints, they immediately poured a bucket of cold water on the other saints who hadn't attacked yet. These few hundred people dared to challenge so many saints, so they had enough confidence. "Weak," the middle-aged man in the lead said coldly. It wasn't that easy for these natives to become the strongest living beings here. "Umitba. Everyone, don't be rash. We have more people, so we should work together and break through," Putuluo of Tianli said faintly. Putuluo was a Buddha sage with the power of a peak saint. His body shone with a golden light, exuding a vast Buddha aura. Others couldn't look at him directly. He held a golden alms bowl and a magic staff in his hands. His Buddhist robes were stained with traces of blood. It was the blood of other living beings. He was very charismatic. After his voice fell, many people immediately responded to his word. Now, only by working together could they succeed in breaking through. A delicate voice rang out. "Everyone, don't listen to this monk. He just wants to break through and use everyone as stepping stones." After a pause, she said, "They have so few people. Let's split up and see how they can stop us from entering the city." These words came from an ordinary-looking woman. No one knew her identity, but the power she displayed was not to be underestimated. She might be the legendary Tu Yanyan, who was ranked third. Tu Yanyan was a famous and beautiful woman, and she looked so ordinary, it was hard to imagine that it was her. Someone agreed, "We have more people. Let's split into 3 teams and attack them from the left, the middle, and the right. It will be more practical to defeat them." "That's right. We have such a great advantage. There's no reason why we can't break through," someone else said. Unfortunately, no matter how much they yelled, it was not as powerful as the words of the natives. You can only leave 10,000 people behind. If more than 10,000 people enter the city, you will all be obliterated. Think about it carefully. All the saints fell silent. They still had so many people left, and a portion of them had to be eliminated. Just as everyone was wondering how to choose, the middle-aged man opened his mouth again and said, "You can also exchange blows with the warriors of my clan. Whoever wins against them can also obtain the opportunity to enter the city. Moreover, there is no limit to the number of people, as long as you have the ability to do so." At this moment, all the saints looked excited. If this was the case, there seemed to be hope for them to enter the city. The other party gave 2 plans. The first was to join forces to break through, and there was no limit to the number of people. The second was to fight one-on-one. It was relatively fair. The first plan was actually the most stable, but the saints present were not of one mind. Moreover, they were still suspicious of each other, and it was very difficult to form an effective joint attack formation. Moreover, the other party obviously had the help of a battle formation and the support of powerful bloodline power. When combined, they could defeat thousands of soldiers and horses. Thus, some people began to choose the second plan. It should be said that the majority wanted to choose the second plan, which was more fair. They were all saints who were chosen from thousands of miles away. Their battle prowess was naturally not ordinary. All of them had basically reached the top-notch saint realm, and there were very few below the top-notch saint realm. They had reached such a realm and were extremely confident. They would not be afraid of anyone in a one-on-one battle. "I, Tan Xiong, will fight you one-on-one." A middle-aged man riding a gray wolf swept out and shouted. This Tan Xiong's background was not simple. He belonged to a first-rate force and was a supreme protector. He had been famous for many years, and his strength was quite astonishing. He had reached the 11th star pattern realm, and was only a step away from the 12th star pattern realm. The other party's leader took a look at Tan Xiong and shouted, "Jiang Tu, you fight him." "Yes, Commander." A man who looked to be in his early 30s swept out and replied. This man's physique was as valiant as the other natives. A battle weapon was tied to his waist, and his entire body was emitting a dense blood aura. He was like a barbaric dragon in human form, causing people to raise their eyebrows. "You do it," Jiang Tu said with a trace of a silly smile. Tan Xiong took a look at Jiang Tu, but he could not tell what realm the other party was at. In any case, as long as it was not a divine realm expert, he had nothing to fear. "What if I accidentally kill you?" Tan Xiong asked his concern. Without waiting for Jiang Tu's reply, the leader had already answered on his behalf. "If he dies, you can enter the city. Moreover, you won't suffer any revenge." "That's all I need to hear." Tan Xiong's lips curled into a cold smile. Then, he suddenly attacked Jiang Tuesday. Tan Xiong's attack was very fast, and the timing was perfect. Without waiting for Jiang Tu to make any preparations, his leg had already kicked toward Jiang Tu's face. Tan leg. This was a leg technique that he had created himself. It was most suitable for him to use in battle. This kick could crush Jiang Tu's head. With the strength of a level 11 star mark realm expert, it was not difficult for him to fight a half-step heavenly ascension realm expert. Without this bit of strength, he would not have been able to survive until now. After the battle earlier, he had already recovered 80% of his battle strength. It should not be too difficult for him to win against one person. Unfortunately, he had thought too much. Before his leg landed on Jiang Tu's face, Jiang Tu stretched out his palm at lightning speed and grabbed Tan Xiong's leg. Then, he shouted, "Explode!" In the next moment, he heavily smashed Tan Xiong onto the ground. Bang! Jiang Tu's strength was too domineering. He smashed a deep hole in the ground, and Tan Xiong was smashed into a daze. Without waiting for Tan Xiong to recover, Jiang Tu grabbed his leg and continued to smash him down. It was like smashing a hammer, causing the ground to explode continuously and dust to rise. The saints could not bear to look at it. The other party was too violent. After a while, Jiang Xiong pulled Tan Xiong up. Looking at the completely deformed Tan Xiong, he scratched the back of his head and thought, This is too weak. How did he die?" After saying this, he gently threw Tan Xiong's corpse over to Tan Xiong's mount. The ash wolf let out a strange cry, turned around and ran away. It was also afraid that if it was smashed a few times, it would lose its little life. This time, the saints were all shocked. They had seen the strength of these natives. They dared to challenge them one-on-one, they really had enough confidence. The native commander Jiang Ye said with an expressionless face, "You can have many people come out at the same time. We have enough warriors on our side to fight you one-on-one, don't waste time." This time, the saints were once again in a difficult situation. It was clear that these natives were very strong. Without any strength, they would just be sending themselves to their death. "Let me deal with you big guys." A tender voice rang out, and a small figure rushed over and shouted. This small figure had several powerful devil-tailed life spirits by his side. All of them had reached the divine level realm. "Xie Tian." When Yang Wu saw this child, he excitedly called out. He wanted to grab Xie Tian, but after hesitating, he didn't do this. He was afraid that others would find out about his relationship with Xie Tian and would secretly make a move against Xie Tian. Currently, Xie Tian still didn't accept the fact that he was his son. If he could bring Xie Tian back to the Yang family, if anyone dared to harm a single hair on his head, he would slaughter their entire family. "I also want to pass." Yang Zixing couldn't stand Xie Tian passing faster than him, so he also quickly charged out. The identities of these two children had already been spread to the saints. They were very strong and had the ability to control beasts. They were definitely natural-born saint seeds. Yang Zixing didn't have a divine level life spirit protecting him like Xie Tian. He was only challenging the other side's people. It didn't matter if he had followers or not. Xie Tian looked at Yang Zixing and said, "Little brat, you can't do it. You can't do it, your entire family can't do it." Yang Zixing replied. Yang Wu's face instantly turned black. Yang Zixing was scolding him. "You two can directly enter the city, there's no need to compete." Jiang Ye looked at Xie Tian and Yang Zixing before announcing this. Xie Tian and Yang Zixing were stunned. They didn't understand what Jiang Ye meant. The others were the same, would they receive special treatment? "You are a natural-born demon seed and a natural-born saint embryo, both of you have the strongest bloodline of our human race, so you should be taken care of. Go in." Jiang Ye explained for the saints. It had to be said, Jiang Ye's eyesight was very strong. He could see that the physiques of these two were not ordinary. This isn't fair. Two little brats who haven't even grown hair, how could they be qualified to become martial saints? Someone said in an unconvinced voice. "I have the final say here. If you don't agree, then scram over here." Jiang Ye shouted. That person really charged out, and some of the natives charged out to fight him. "You barbarians, do you really think you're that great? Today I'll let you experience the true power of a saint." This person was very confident as he roared into the sky, swinging his mace at the other side. Sixth Revolution Spinning Strike. This was a top-grade saint skill, coupled with a top-grade saint weapon, Under a full power attack, the explosive power was very strong. His realm was actually one level lower than Tan Xiong. He was only at the 10th level of the Star Mark realm, but the explosive power was not inferior to Tan Xiong's. The one who came out had a fierce look on his face. Scolding us, kill. He held his hand at his waist and pulled out a rough axe, quickly chopping out. With a flash of the axe, a head fell to the ground. Chapter 1552. The Aboriginals were the oldest Jiang clan. Every one of them had the surname Jiang, and their leader was called Jiang Ye. He was the strongest of them all, having reached the deity level. As for exactly what level he was at, not many could tell. There were a few other divine realm experts behind him, and the rest were all in the sage realm. With such strength, they could probably be compared to any of the major forces in the transcendent world. Not only that, but their combat strength was also very strong. If they were evaluated by the transcendent world, they would definitely be martial sages, not super martial sages. Ordinary martial sages could not be compared to them. Tan Xiong and the other person were killed in one move. Their combat strength was too frightening. We can't fight anymore. I don't want the title of martial sage anymore. That's right. These people are too strong. They didn't even use their celestial qi, but they killed them. How can we be their match? Let's join forces and charge into the city. Otherwise, we won't have a chance. It's not easy to be a martial sage. I'm going out. Have fun. Some people did not even have the courage to fight. They directly crushed their jade tokens and left. Suddenly, a few hundred people were eliminated. This elimination rate was very fast. I'll do it. No matter how much they tried to suppress their morale, there was still no lack of brave people. One of the top 10 experts on the prediction list made his move. It was Xiezhen of the Longevity Palace. Xiezhen and Pu Tuoyuo were both the strongest martial sages. If they could not pass, then they would really have no hope. Jiang Mu, you fight him. Jiang Ye glanced at Xiezhen, then shouted to come out and fight Xiezhen. Jiang Mu rushed out. He was dressed the same as the other members of the Jiang clan, but his aura was stronger. He was obviously an opponent of the same level as Xiezhen. Fight. Jiang Mu looked at Xiezhen with high fighting spirit and said. Xiezhen did not say anything. He raised his hand and chopped at Jiang Mu. This hand chopped out a terrifying crack, and the majestic saber aura fell with a force that could topple mountains and overturn seas. Jiang Mu withdrew his qi and raised his fist to meet the attack. Bang! The fist and the saber collided, and a shocking explosion sounded. The saber light did not shatter, but the fist light shattered first. The saber light was still heading straight for Jiang Mu. Jiang Mu opened his eyes wide and shouted. Again! A series of explosions rang out, and by the time the saber light was blocked, Jiang Mu had already been knocked back several hundred meters. When he came back to his senses, Xiezhen had already appeared beside him, and another hand chop came over. Jiang Mu had no way to block it. His body was ruthlessly sent flying by the saber. Puff! Blood spilled out and dyed the ground red. Finally, a human from the transcendent realm had defeated a native saint in a direct confrontation. Pass! Jiang Yu immediately announced. Xiezhen raised his eyebrows and flew towards the city. Jiang Mu, who was sent flying, was fine. He crawled up and said guiltily, I'm sorry, Commander. I've embarrassed myself. After saying that, he grabbed one of his arms and directly tore it off. Blood once again spilled out. When the saints saw this scene, they did not know what the other party was up to. All right, you're still a warrior. Return to your ranks, Jiang Yu replied. Jiang Mu held his head high and puffed his chest out as he returned to his ranks. He completely ignored the intense pain from his broken arm and injuries. After Xiezhen's successful challenge, the experts on the prediction list all started to challenge. These natives before them were not undefeatable. As long as they gave it their all, there was still a chance. The saints all made their moves. Some of the higher-ranked experts on the prediction list fought fiercely with the native. Some succeeded, while others failed and were eliminated. The people from the Jiang clan were too strong. Not only were their physical bodies incomparably strong, even the power of the stars they were connected to was much stronger than theirs. Many of them had to rely on divine weapons to gain an advantage. If they did not have divine weapons, they would not even have the qualifications to pass the trial. It was also because of the help of divine weapons that they were able to successfully pass the trial. Yang Wu and the others were not in a hurry to stand out. Many people had the same thoughts as them. Once the few hundred people from the Jiang clan were exhausted, they would definitely be able to pass the trial. Those who pass the 10,000th rank first can enter. Don't even think about fighting at the end. Those who are at the end scram. Jiang Yu destroyed their hopes. Thus, more and more people went down to challenge the trial. 100 to 200 battles were going on at the same time. The speed of passing and being eliminated was progressing at a rapid pace. Yang Wu said to the people behind him, "I will pass the trial. I will wait for you inside." Yang Wu really did not want to see his own people being eliminated. It would be better for him to go first. No one could escape from this trial. Since he had already chosen to fight one-on-one, he should not think about joining forces to pass the trial. There would be divine experts interfering. "Go wait for us inside," Yang Zhennan replied. "I will go with you," Xianyuan Huowu said from the side. Meng Bingxue, who was wearing a mask, also stepped out and said, "I will go as well." "Then let's go together." Yang Wu did not refuse. He replied and walked towards the battlefield. Xianyuan Huowu and Meng Bingxue followed beside him. Xianyuan Huowu looked at Meng Bingxue curiously. She felt that this person was very strange. When they stepped out of the ranks, many saints also noticed their existence. Yang Wu predicted that the martial saints in the top 10 would be able to pass the trial like Xiezhen. Xianyuan Huowu's ranking on the prediction list was not low. The martial marquis gang's leader was also strong enough. If the three of them passed the trial together, it would be a good thing. After Jiang Yi saw the three of them step out, he immediately shouted, "Jiang Yi, Jiang Qing, Jiang Zhuang, battle!" Yes. 3 of the Jiang clan's people responded and quickly rushed out. Jiang Yi against Yang Wu, Jiang Qing against Xianyuan Huowu, and Jiang Zhuang against Meng Bingxue. The 3 battles would be carried out at the same time. Yang Wu was at the peak of the 9th level of the Star Rune Realm. Xianyuan Huowu was at the peak of the Saint Realm. After she consumed the immortal liquid, she directly rose to this realm. Meng Bingxue was at the peak of the Saint Realm. Among the 3 of them, Yang Wu's realm was the lowest. His opponent's realm was also the lowest. "Make your move." Jiang Yi looked at Yang Wu and said. He didn't know why, but when he looked at Yang Wu, he felt as if he was facing their commander. The youth in front of him was too confident. His whole body was suffused with a sense of perfection. He didn't dare to look directly at him. This was definitely the first time such a situation had happened. And Yang Wu responded softly. His figure fluttered like the wind and swept towards Jiang Yi. Jiang Yi only felt a gust of wind blow past him. His body was like a kite with a broken string. When he spat out blood, he thought to himself in disbelief, so strong. Yang Wu's strength was beyond his expectations. It was also beyond Jiang Yi's expectations. Those people outside are not all good-for-nothings. Yang Wu passed with one move, which instantly attracted the cheers of the Saint Realm experts. As expected of Yang Wu, who is proficient in both alchemy and martial arts, he didn't disappoint. Will Yang Wu be stronger than Xiezhen? He finished the battle faster than Xiezhen. He can't compare. Yang Wu's strength should still be inferior to Xiezhen's. Yang Wu's opponent should be weaker. I feel that Yang Wu is hiding his strength. He definitely has the ability to become the number 1 Saint Realm expert. Up until now, not many people had figured out Yang Wu's true strength. Some people said that Yang Wu hadn't reached the peak of the Saint Realm. Others said that Yang Wu was actually half a step into the heaven-piercing realm. Some even said that there was an old monster hiding in Yang Wu's body. That was why his battle strength was so heaven-defying. Yang Wu passed smoothly and directly headed towards the city. He didn't even look at the battle between Xianyuan Huowu and Meng Bingshu. However, he hadn't gone far when another round of cheers sounded. Xianyuan Huowu and Meng Bingshu landed beside Yang Wu at the same time. They headed towards the city with him. "You two are really amazing." Yang Wu sighed with emotion. Yang Wu had expected that Xianyuan Huowu could pass quickly. However, Meng Bingshu could also pass quickly. This was beyond his expectations. Obviously, he had underestimated Meng Bingshue's painstaking cultivation in the past 10 years. After Meng Bingxue obtained the divine items and immortal liquid, she also cultivated Yang Wu's void tempering technique and void traversal technique. These two secret techniques could increase her battle strength to an abnormally high level. She was more focused on cultivation than Yang Wu. Moreover, she was more ruthless in her cultivation. When she fought with Jiang Zhuang, she defeated him in 2 moves. "Lil Wu, don't look down on me." Xianyuan Huowu smiled. "I don't dare to look down on you. You're very strong now." Yang Wu smiled. He then looked at Meng Bingshu and said, "You've improved a lot. I have to improve a lot. I don't want to drag you down." Meng Bingshu replied. Yang Wu smiled and didn't say anything. Now, everyone knew that Wu Hougang couldn't be related to him anymore. However, he didn't mind. Originally, Wu Hougang was going to be on the table. There was no need to be secretive. That wasn't his style. Moreover, Meng Bingshu already had the ability to stand alone. He was very relieved now. Unfortunately, he couldn't see Sun Do this time. He missed him very much. He was sure that he would see his brother again in the 10,000 Saints conference. Sun Do's body had mutated. His body contained the blood of a different race. It would be a little difficult for him to participate in the Martial Saint Conference. Yang Wu, Xianyuan Huowu, and Meng Bingshu entered the city together. This was a very simple and crude city. There weren't any tall buildings or elegant buildings. There were only simple and crude houses made of earth. The houses were built sturdily and wide. The location of the houses was also very disorderly. It was very chaotic. A city like this might as well be called a village. It was this kind of place that could intimidate other creatures. They didn't dare to take even half a step closer. It was really hard to imagine. Soon, they found some clues. There were some beast bones and dried meat placed in front of each house. They looked carefully and found that these were the bones and meat of tigers, lions, and leopard. This also meant that the people living in this house ate their flesh and blood to grow up. Could this be the reason why their blood and qi are so strong? Yang Wu exclaimed in his heart. Xianyuan Huowu and Meng Bingshu also discovered this situation. A wave of shock rose in their hearts. Chapter 1553. In everyone's eyes, the ancient human race's bloodline was the purest. Outstanding ancestor-level figures had appeared one after another. But every new generation of humans would think that they were stronger than the ancient human race. That was because the combat skills they cultivated were more diverse. Their comprehension ability and vision surpassed the ancient human race. Arriving at the 3rd layer of the end world space, all the saints were beaten silly by the ancient Jiang clan's clansmen. Over 17,000 people, 8,000 people were eliminated in the end. Only 9,000 people could enter the city. This was still under the situation where the other party was not deliberately serious. That was why so many people could enter. If those people all took action seriously and fought to the death, it would already be pretty good for 5,000 people to enter the city. This city was very small. It could only be considered an ordinary village. Every residence appeared very simple and crude. Who would have thought that the human race in such a place would be the most powerful race in this space? Everyone finally came to a conclusion. The humans here all ate the flesh and blood of powerful creatures to grow. Their blood chi was incomparably vigorous and powerful. Their physiques were astonishing. That was why they had this kind of combat strength. They saw some children in the village, saw some youths, and also saw some adults. When these people saw them, their eyes were filled with curiosity. There was no enmity, nor was there any surprise. It was as if they were just sizing them up to see if they were different from themselves. There were even some children who were still drooling, seemingly even treating them as delicious food. This kind of phenomenon was rarely seen in the outside world. They were all saints. How powerful was their strength! Ordinary people would be scared to their knees upon seeing them. But they seemed to be ordinary people here. Even the children were not afraid of them. This made them incomparably shocked. Very soon, these 9,000 people gathered in front of an open space together. There was an ancient altar in front of the open space. That place was currently guarded by the Jiang clan's powerhouses. There were also over a dozen powerful ancient creatures trapped beside the altar. It was also unknown what they wanted to do. After everyone gathered here, there was an old man and a young girl on top of the altar. That old man was shockingly the Jiang clan's patriarch, and that young girl was shockingly Nan Nan. When Yang Wu saw her, he was also greatly shocked. He wanted to go up and save her, but she sent him a sound transmission at the first moment, telling him not to act rashly. She was invited by the patriarch and would not be in any danger. Yang Wu had a baffled expression. He could not figure out what these Jiang clan's people wanted to do. Could it be that they wanted to catch them all in one net? This was not just the thought of Yang Wu alone. The others were also thinking this. They were a little alarmed and could not help touching their jade plates. All of a sudden, the sound of a bugle horn was heard again. The sound of the bugle horn seemed to have come from ancient times. It was long and desolate, as if it was telling some ancient prophecy, or warning of the occurrence of a major event. After the sound of the bugle horn faded away, the voice of the Jiang clan's clan leader rang out, "You all have the qualifications to follow us to the Thousand Saints Assembly, but everything will be decided by my Jiang clan. You all have to listen to the orders of my clan. You cannot act on your own accord. If you disobey, you will be expelled immediately. If you are unwilling to listen to the orders of my clan, you can leave now." When this voice fell, all the saints were stunned. Before coming in, they had not heard of this. The Thousand Saints Assembly was a competition between the various clans to find more opportunities to break through. Now, how did it become listening to the Jiang clan's orders to participate in the Thousand Saints Assembly? Without waiting for them to regain their senses, a figure appeared beside the Jiang clan head. It was the guardian of the Martial Saint Conference. He said faintly, "This is the passage leading to the Thousand Saints Conference, and the Jiang clan is the strongest and most ancient clan of our human race. Their bloodline is the strongest, and their talent is the strongest. Only by participating in the Thousand Saints Conference with them will we be able to fight for more resources for our human race, and only then will we be able to obtain more living space for our transcendent realm. Our transcendent realm is too backward, and compared to the other realms, it is already far inferior. The Jiang clan is the hope of our human race, and similarly, you are also the hope of our human race. Those who shine in the Thousand Saints Conference will be able to obtain more living resources. Furthermore, the Jiang clan will open up ancient techniques for you to cultivate for half a year, helping you become stronger." Even the protector admitted that the Jiang clan was the strongest. What else could the other saints say? Those who were not satisfied could leave immediately. However, when they thought of the fact that they could cultivate ancient techniques here, they were unwilling to leave. They knew how powerful the Jiang clan was. If they could obtain their cultivation techniques and increase their battle strength, it might not be a bad thing. The reason why our Jiang clan is the strongest in this Thousand Saints Assembly is not only because our Jiang clan is strong, but also because this Thousand Saints Assembly is very different from the past. The divine realm will send young gods to compete with us for the title of Thousand Saint. If we can defeat those young gods and surpass them, we will obtain the opportunity to go to the divine realm. The Jiang clan's patriarch said proudly. This time, the saints were in an uproar. What? The young gods of the divine realm will come to compete with us for the title of Thousand Saints? What kind of joke is this? Why would the high and mighty divine realm lower themselves? Do they think we are easy to bully? Young gods, how are they different from us? It's just that the living environment is different. We have nothing to be afraid of. Yes, we are strong. No matter who the opponent is, we can deal with them one by one. Some of these saint martial artists' confidence was shaken, but some were still confident and fearless. The Jiang clan did not have many people. There were less than 100,000 people living here, but they had 6,000 saints. They were going to the Thousand Saints assembly together with the saints from the supreme mortal realm. A single clan had thousands of saints. What kind of shocking number and ratio was this? The saints were already incomparably numb to this. They were thinking that if they lived in this space, their descendants could also quickly become saints. The xianqi of heaven and earth here was too rich. There were many heavenly materials and earthly treasures. It was also relatively close to the stars. The entire space was a perfect place for cultivation. Someone raised a question. Although you are strong, it doesn't mean that we are no match for you. Letting you lead us is not a problem, but most of us are definitely not convinced. I feel that you should give us some leadership positions. Otherwise, why should we be your underlings? It would be better for us to withdraw from this place. Someone immediately agreed. That's right. You are strong, but it does not mean that you are smarter than others. Sometimes it is not only strength that matters but also brains. We need our own leaders. Let Master Pu Tuoluo be our leader. I think Xiezhen is more suitable to be our leader. The saints did not have any feelings for the Jiang clan, especially not knowing what they wanted to do. They might as well choose a stronger leader to lead them further. Moreover, they still did not know what was going on with the Thousand Saints assembly. The protector replied, "You can choose 5 leaders, but no matter who you choose, you will still have to listen to the Jiang clan's orders. This does not only represent your personal interests, but also the interests of the entire transcendent realm. You will not be allowed to act recklessly." The protector was already giving in, so the others had nothing to say. 5 leaders was a little less, but it was better than nothing. At least they would have the right to talk to the Jiang clan. These 5 leaders would not be chosen immediately, but would be chosen half a year later. Now, what they needed to do was to cultivate the ancient technique here. The Jiang clan's ancient technique was recorded on the stone tablet beside the altar. Everyone could learn it, and everyone could cultivate it. It was rare to see such a shared ancient technique. Everyone suddenly understood why the people of the Jiang clan were so strong. Perhaps it was because of their selflessness. After everyone took a look at the ancient secret technique, they were all stunned. This ancient technique was a secret technique to temper one's blood qi. It was called the ox blood technique. Blood was the foundation of a human's survival. The stronger one's blood qi was, the stronger one's physique would be. And the ox blood technique in front of them was to strengthen one's blood qi by devouring the flesh and blood of powerful creatures and borrowing the essence of the flesh and blood. One's body would be like an old ox, able to receive the power of heaven and earth and seize the fortune of heaven to change one's physique and become the strongest cultivator. Other than the ox blood technique, there was also the star prayer technique. This star prayer technique was to be cultivated from a young age. Through sensing, one could find the natal star. From a young age, one could use the power of the stars to temper one's body and become one with the stars, displaying extraordinary cultivation talent. Not everyone could use the star prayer technique to sense the existence of the stars. One needed to cultivate diligently and accumulate time. Everyone's time to sense the stars was different, but the success rate was very high. These two secret techniques were the reason why the Jiang clan was so strong. The first was to strengthen one's blood and the second was to temper one's body. Both were compulsory courses for warriors. It was hard for them not to be strong if they cultivated like this from a young age. After the saints obtained these two secret techniques, they all began to look for places to cultivate. Half a year's time was too tight for them. These people no longer acted alone. Some had already begun to gather troops and form teams to move together. This way they could live here safely and interact with each other. Each of them had their own gains. In addition, they could find the commander they needed. Following a commander in advance was more practical than following a commander later. Yang Zhenan came in front of Yang Wu and said, "Wu, you can't be absent from the commander's position. This is the best chance to strengthen our Yang clan's reputation." Yang Ba agreed, "That's right. Clan leader, you must fight for it." Yang Zixing interrupted, "Why don't I fight for it?" Everyone gave him a look of disdain. Even if he had great talent and strength, he was still not qualified to be a commander. Before Yang Wu could make up his mind, someone came to rope him in. "People of the Yang clan, come over. Our commander is waiting for you." Chapter 1554. The strongest clan in the War Clan world was the Xianyuan clan, and the strongest in the Xianyuan clan was the first princess Xianyuan Shu. Xianyuan Shu was the same as the third princess. She wasn't an outstanding woman in terms of looks, but she had the aura of a leader, completely suppressing the first prince Xianyuan Tianlong. However, this time, the leader position wasn't Xianyuan Shu, but Xianyuan Tianlong. Xianyuan Tianlong was ranked 18th on the Martial Saint predicted list. This was a very high ranking. A prediction was just a prediction. Xianyuan Tianlong was confident that he could be ranked in the top 10, or even the top 5. Therefore, he was determined to get the leader position. Xianyuan Shu didn't want to be the leader, so she didn't comment on his actions. She just wanted to win glory for the Xianyuan clan. At this moment, the saints of the War Clan had gathered beside the Xianyuan clan. The Xianyuan clan was one of the ancient clans that could compete with the Jiang clan. In terms of battle strength, they shouldn't be weaker than the Jiang clan. However, their bloodline wasn't as pure as the Jiang clan. The clans hadn't decided who the leader would be. The Xing, Lu, Li, and Qin clans supported Xianyuan Tianlong. Ho, Sun, and Yang clans hadn't made a decision yet. If Yang Wu wasn't there, they would have chosen Xianyuan Tianlong as the leader. With Yang Wu here, the Ho and Sun clans held back. Moreover, there was also someone in the Ho clan who wanted to be the leader. That person was Ho Zhenxing. He was also a cultivation maniac, a godly archer. After the Yang clan arrived, the saints of the 8 great war clans gathered. There weren't many of them, only a few dozen. Adding their followers, there were about 300 people. Among the 9,000 people, this number wasn't much. However, once they gathered together, they would have a lot of influence. Many saints would join them, and they would become a powerful group. Yang Wu wasn't too interested in the leader position. Everything would be led by the Jiang clan. After the Thousand Saints Conference, he didn't know what would happen. It was too early to start fighting for power now. When Xianyuan Huowu saw Yang Wu coming over, she playfully winked at him. The relationship between the two was self-evident. "Alright, the people from the Yang clan are here too. Let's vote for the first prince to be our leader. Do you have any objections?" Someone from the Xianyuan clan said. Someone immediately replied, "The first prince's strength is outstanding, and his intelligence is also extraordinary. I have no objections." "That's right. Our war clan respects the Xianyuan clan as our leader. He is the most suitable person to lead the war clan." Another person replied. The first prince, who was wearing a golden dragon robe, had a faint smile on his face. In his opinion, it was only natural that he would become the commander. Someone from the Empress side said, "Our Lord Zhen Xing also wants to be a commander." Ho Zhenxing was a middle-aged man who looked mature. However, He was full of vigor. His eyes were bright and his arms were strong. With the arrow lock behind his back, he looked like a godly archer. He was ranked 22nd and his strength was not inferior to Xianyuan Tianlong. The minority obeys the majority. Someone from the Xing clan said. That's right. Everyone wants to be the commander, but it also depends on the power of the people. The first prince is the best candidate. Someone from the Lu clan said. At that moment a young voice sounded out, I'm the youngest here and the strongest. I'll be your leader. What's there to fight about? Yang Zixing was about to sneak out when he was hit by Yang Wu. There's no place for you here. Go back. With that, he threw him in the direction of Yang Zhinan. Yang Zixing was already arrogant enough. If he continued to be arrogant, what if he died early? The brat from the Yang clan is really arrogant. Why don't you take a look at the strength of your Yang clan? Listen to him obediently. A saint from the Xing clan said sarcastically. These words angered Yang Wu. He glared at that person and said, What strength does your Xing clan have? You have to obediently compensate the Yang clan. What's there to be proud of? After pausing for a while, he said, I want to be the commander. Whoever supports me will get a divine pill. This caused an uproar among the crowd. Not far away, a saint heard this and hurriedly shouted, Godly alchemist Yang Wu, I'm willing to support you as the commander. Godly alchemist Yang Wu is mighty. I'm willing to support you too. That's right. Clan leader Yang Wu is a godly alchemist. He's also in the top 10 of the predicted list. He's skilled in both alchemy and martial arts. If he doesn't become the commander, who else is suitable? Just like that, a large group of saints ran over to support Yang Wu as the commander. His popularity overshadowed Xian Yuan Tianlong's and the rest. A godly alchemist's influence here was too strong. After a while, the number of people supporting Yang Wu exceeded 800 and was still increasing. Xian Yuan Tianlong was so angry that he turned around and left. With Yang Wu around, he could forget about being the commander. He might as well wait for this to pass and think of ways to rope in more people. Yang Wu was surrounded by the crowd. He was already riding a tiger and couldn't back down. He had to continue being the commander. Thanks to everyone's high opinion of me, I won't decline this commander position. Before this, everyone should go and cultivate. Time is of the essence. Don't waste your time on such boring things. Yang Wu said in a clear voice. Then, he said, when I really become the commander, you won't be short of pills. Everyone cheered and then dispersed to cultivate. Yang Wu also planned to bring the people around him to find a place to cultivate. Before he could move, Nannan brought a few people from the Jiang clan over. Big brother. When Nannan saw Yang Wu, she called out cheerfully. Before she could go in front of Yang Wu, Yang Zixing blocked her and said, Big sister, you said you would bring me along to play. Why did you leave me behind? You're too disloyal. Nannan pinched Yang Zixing's face and said, I'll find you later. I want to talk to Big Brother first. Nannan, what's going on? Yang Wu asked her. Nannan replied, Big Brother, come with me. I'll arrange a quiet place for you to cultivate. Yang Wu naturally wouldn't refuse. He brought his family and followed Nannan. The cultivation place Nannan was talking about was obviously the Jiang clan's mud house. She was already an honored guest here. It wasn't hard to find a place to cultivate. After she arranged everything for them, she called Yang Wu out alone and said, Big brother, the clan head wants to see you. Okay, lead the way. Yang Wu didn't even bother to ask and directly agreed. Nannan brought Yang Wu to the Jiang clan's important place to see the Jiang clan head. The Jiang clan head looked like a very ordinary old man. His physique was taller and stronger than ordinary old men. However, there were many wrinkles on his face. This was definitely an overlord-level character who had lived for a long time. After Yang Wu was glanced at by the Jiang clan head, he had a feeling that he was seen through. He quietly used the power of his immortal foundation to conceal all of his aura. The Jiang clan head's gaze moved and said, "Young man, you're not bad. Your physique is vigorous and not inferior to my clan's Lang heir. In fact, you're even stronger. I'm really curious how you did it. Everyone has different opportunities. I just went in and out of all kinds of dangerous situations and obtained an opportunity, which created my current physique. I've let you laugh at me." Yang Wu looked at the Jiang clan's clan leader and said, "That's right. In the great struggle for the world, what we're fighting for is this unique opportunity. Although the children of my clan have a unique advantage, they also lost some of their individual opportunities. Their lives are no longer as perfect." The Jiang clan head sighed with emotion. "To us outsiders, this is the best place for opportunities. It's also something that we can't help but be envious of." "That's right. There are gains and losses. It's hard to calculate clearly. I've called you over because I heard you're a godly alchemist. Here's a pill recipe. Take a look and see if you can successfully refine it." The Jiang clan head spoke and gave a beast skin pill recipe to Yang Wu. Yang Wu took it and looked at the ancient words on the beast skin. He could roughly understand that this was a type of purifying blood divine pill. The effect of this divine pill was to purify the various impurities and impurities in the blood pill and restore the purity of the bloodline. "I can refine the purifying blood divine pill," Yang Wu said with certainty. He paused for a moment and then said, "However, the materials are hard to find. I can't gather them all." "You don't need to worry about the materials. My clan will naturally prepare them for you," the Jiang clan head said. "Okay, then I'll give you a new list of materials. We already have the materials on the list. These materials are not complete. This pill recipe is also not complete. Follow my instructions. Are you sure you're not lying to me?" The Jiang clan head released a bit of aura to suppress Yang Wu and asked. Yang Wu replied, "You can choose not to believe me." Nan quickly said from the side, "Lord Clanhead, you should believe my brother. He won't lie to you. He's very good at refining pills." "Then I'll believe you this time," the Jiang clan head replied. Then he said, "Choose a place to refine pills. I'll get someone to make it for you. I'll refine pills for you. You have to give me benefits. Let's talk about it first. And this is a deal. What benefits do you want? You can mention it after the pill is refined." It seems like the clan head doesn't understand the requirements of an alchemist. Usually, we'll talk about the conditions first before refining pills. However, this is your territory, so we'll do as you say. Yang Wu could guess why the Jiang clan head wanted to refine the purifying blood divine pill. The ox blood technique had some unknown drawback. If one swallowed too much flesh and blood essence of other creatures, it would also imperceptibly change the purity of the bloodline. Only the purifying blood divine pill recipe could remove and purify those impurities. This point was the same as the battle clan staying in the battle realm for a long time to absorb devil chi. If they absorbed any energy for a long time, they would be affected. This was an opportunity to extort, and Yang Wu would not let it go. Moreover, it was also an opportunity to build a good relationship with the Jiang clan. To him, there were only benefits and no disadvantages. However, the Jiang clan did not only place their hopes on him. They also invited 2 other alchemists to come and play a show with him. These 2 alchemists were Zhu Jingming from the Medicine Sect Alliance and Yen Ruyang from the Yen clan. Chapter 1555. The guy that Zhu Jingming and Yao Isa wanted to deal with, Chao Jifei, was one of the candidates for the position of Vice Alliance Master of the Medicine Sect Alliance. His talent in medicine cultivation was extraordinary. Yang Wu was very surprised that he was able to come here. Even if the other party had a decent cultivation level, his battle prowess couldn't be that strong. How did he resist the attacks of those creatures? Yen Ruyang was a middle-aged man full of anger. His whole body was surrounded by flames, and his fiery hair danced in the wind. His cultivation level had reached half a step into the Heaven Ascension realm, and he was only half a step away from the Heaven Ascension realm. The Yen clan was also an ancient clan. However, they kept a low profile for generations and rarely participated in various disputes. Not many people knew about them. After Zhu Jingming saw Yang Wu, he was clearly a little flustered, but he quickly calmed down. Since the Jiang clan invited him, they definitely wouldn't let Yang Wu make things difficult for him. Yang Wu indeed didn't look directly at Zhu Jingming. He already didn't put such a character in his eyes. The Jiang clan's clan leader also showed them the recipe for the purifying blood pill and requested them to refine it. The two of them didn't dare to guarantee anything, but they still accepted the task. They weren't like Yang Wu who dared to raise conditions. They only asked for the ingredients according to the original recipe. The Jiang clan's clan leader didn't haggle over this matter with Yang Wu. In any case, he only wanted the purifying blood pill and didn't care about the process. If Yang Wu was able to refine it, then it wouldn't hurt to give him more ingredient. If he couldn't refine it and dared to cheat him of his ingredients, then he was courting death. The Jiang clan's clan leader found a remote place for the three of them to refine the pill at the same time. He used his strength to isolate the surrounding movements, not allowing any creatures to disturb them. Before they started refining the pill, the Jiang clan's clan leader promised, "Whoever successfully refines the pill will be my Jiang clan's honored guest." Don't underestimate this promise. It was extremely important for them at the moment. Zhu Jingming thought in his heart, "I must refine the purifying blood pill. I must. Otherwise, I'll definitely have to scram." Yen Ryong thought, "This place is full of profound qi of heaven and earth. I need to borrow the power of heaven and earth to refine the pill in one go." In fact, he was already a true divine apothecary. However, he did not announce it. After all, he could only refine the most ordinary divine pills. He had not even successfully refined a tribulation divine pill before, so it was not worth showing off. This time, he longed to succeed and prove himself. Yang Wu was relatively calm. The Jiang clan's purifying blood divine pellets pill formula was obviously incomplete and lacked a few main ingredients, but he just so happened to have a complete pill formula. In the past, he did not refine this kind of divine pellet because there were a few ingredients that were difficult to find, such as the God's blood crystal, divine lotus seed. These divine items were all rare. And now, the Jiang clan's clan leader had prepared everything for him. It was not difficult for him to concoct this kind of divine pill. At this moment, he was only thinking about what would happen after the pill was formed. If the other two knew what he was thinking, they probably wouldn't even have the mood to compete. Yang Wu was too confident. Could it be that divine pills were really that easy to refine? Yang Wu didn't think about it for too long. After taking out the medicinal cauldron, he began to use the spirit spring to clean the medicinal cauldron. After the Jiang clan's clan leader saw this medicinal cauldron, his turbid old eyes were filled with excitement. Clan cauldron? The bronze cauldron was given to Yang Wu by Little He. Its origin was incomparably ancient. Yang Wu also didn't know what era it was from, but its high grade was indeed incomparable to ordinary divine weapons. It should be at least a true god-level medicinal cauldron. When the Jiang clan's clan leader saw this medicinal cauldron, he felt that it was extremely similar to the clan cauldron recorded in their clan's records. The more he looked at it, the more he felt that it might be their Jiang clan's clan cauldron. A wave of excitement surged in his heart. The Jiang clan was one of the earliest royal clans of the human race, and they were also the descendants of the Yen Emperor. A very powerful alchemist had once appeared in their clan, and the bronze cauldron was precisely the divine cauldron created by their clan. It helped that clan elder all the way to become the most powerful alchemist, and it would be best if he could become a god and enter the divine realm. Even if it all originated from the memories in his bloodline, he wouldn't mistake the bronze cauldron. It was just that the bronze cauldron had already disappeared for who knew how many eras, and it actually reappeared in the human world. This was truly inconceivable to him. He suspected that Yang Wu's bronze cauldron might be a replica. After all, there were quite a number of similar cauldrons. He suppressed the excitement in his heart. He would settle everything after Yang Wu finished refining the pills. He diverted more of his attention to watch Yang Wu refine pills, and very quickly, he confirmed that Yang Wu was indeed calmer than the other two. Furthermore, his methods of refining pills were more casual, and he wasn't as cautious as the other two. He thought to himself, looks like this young man should have some skills. Once the purifying blood divine pill is completed, the hidden danger of my clan can be resolved. Their clan had a copy of the Jiang clan's alchemy manual, but unfortunately it was lost long ago. It wasn't imprinted in the memories of their bloodline, and they couldn't obtain the inheritance. This also caused their clan to no longer have any high-level alchemists, which was really a very sad thing. He had no choice but to invite the human alchemists from the outside world to refine pills for them. As time passed, Zhu Jingming was the first to explode his pill. This also meant that he had failed in his first attempt. However, it didn't mean that he was eliminated just like that. He still had a few more chances. If he couldn't refine the pill, then he would really be eliminated. With the first failure, there would naturally be a second failure. Zhu Jingming's ability wasn't enough to refine a divine pill, and in the end, he completely failed and was eliminated. The Jiang clan's patriarch didn't kill him, but let him leave by himself. He didn't even have the qualifications to participate in the Thousand Saints assembly. If he didn't have some alchemy ability, the Jiang clan wouldn't have kept him. Yan Ruyang was slightly stronger than Zhu Jingming. After 3 failures, he refined a tribulation-free pill on his 4th attempt, which could be considered to have completed his task. The Jiang clan's patriarch looked at the divine pill that wasn't round and smooth, and his old eyes were filled with excitement. Even a tribulation-free pill would have some effect. On Yan Ruyang's 5th attempt, he failed once again. After refining 5 times, there was only one chance of success. It was too difficult to refine a divine pill. Moreover, his ability wasn't enough to support him continuously refining divine pills. Zhu Jingming and Yan Ruyang had both finished refining, but Yang Wu was still refining slowly. His efficiency was much slower than the other two. The Jiang clan's patriarch didn't have much hope. It's rumored that Yang Wu is already an alchemist, but why is he refining divine pills so slow? Could it be that he only has an undeserved reputation? Yan Ruyang stayed beside the Jiang clan's patriarch and muttered. Obviously, he was squeezing Yang Wu to be unable to refine pills. Nanan couldn't take it anymore and hurriedly said, "What do you know? How dare you talk about my brother after refining such a dog-shit pill? Later, when my brother's divine pill attracts divine lightning, do you dare to go up and receive it for him?" Yan Ruyang was choked by Nanan's words and could only harden his neck and say, if he could refine it, he would have done it long ago. Why would he delay until now? It's obvious that he can't do it. I only ask you, do you dare to receive divine lightning for my brother? Nanan asked. Yan Ruyang straightforwardly said, then I'll receive it. In any case, he can't refine it. Just as he finished speaking, a terrifying black cloud suddenly condensed, and a terrifying divine lightning suddenly struck towards Yang Wu's location. This time, Yan Ruyang was dumbfounded. The divine lightning is coming, the divine lightning is coming. Why aren't you going to receive it for my brother? What are you waiting for? Nanan clapped his hands and said excitedly. How could Yan Ruyang have such guts? A single divine lightning was enough to kill him. Go! The Jiang clan's patriarch grabbed Yan Ruyang and threw him towards the divine lightning. Yan Ruyang was instantly scared to the point of peeing his pants. How terrifying was the divine lightning! He really couldn't receive it. The Jiang clan's patriarch really didn't throw him in. He only let him get close to it and pulled him back from the brink of death. This is only a lesson. You can go back, the Jiang clan's patriarch said, and then threw Yen Ruyang out. He looked at the divine lightning with anticipation and thought excitedly, could it be that the heavens are really protecting my clan? Rumble, rumble. Streaks of divine lightning violently struck down like dragons. The terrifying destructive power was enough to make people smack their lip. Even a mid-divine realm creature might not dare to receive it with their physical body. However, Yang Wu faced the divine lightning head-on and collided with it. Currently, the strength of his physical body couldn't be separated from the 9 lightning body tempering technique. Every time the divine lightning struck, it would help his heavenly lightning bones become more durable, and the accumulated lightning power would become stronger, and his physical body would become stronger. After 3 waves of divine lightning fell, Yang Wu's skin split open, and his flesh splattered. His internal organs were all exposed, and his appearance was extremely miserable. If he didn't have the divine weapon with him, the 3 waves of divine lightning would be enough to take his life. Yang Wu climbed up, and a large amount of profound qi of heaven and earth gathered in between breaths. The Tao of life operated in his body, and his injuries quickly recovered. After the Jiang clan's patriarch saw that Yang Wu had safely passed through, he completely believed that Yang Wu had really refined the divine pellet. Moreover, his fighting strength was probably even stronger than the Sage Realm children in their clan. The human race in the outside world can occasionally see a dragon. The Jiang clan's patriarch sighed with emotion in his heart. After Yang Wu recovered a bit, he opened the medicinal cauldron and revealed 8 perfect third tribulation divine pellet. Waves of medicinal fragrance floated, and waves of multicolored light floated, and a vision appeared. The Jiang clan's patriarch quickly rushed over and grabbed the pellets in his hand. His old face was filled with joy. This is really the purifying blood divine pellet. Perfect, it's really too perfect. Compared to the purifying blood divine pellet that Yen Ruyang had just refined, it could indeed be said to be perfect. On the other hand, the purifying blood divine pellet that Yen Ruyang had just refined was like a dog's hit candy, unsightly. Like I said, brother's alchemy ability is unparalleled in the world. Nan Nan said with incomparable pride. Yes, it's indeed formidable. The Jiang clan's patriarch sighed with emotion, and then he said, the promise is still valid. From now on, you're my Jiang clan's honored guest. Whatever reward you want, I'll satisfy you. Also, I'll give you a position as a commander. With your ability, you should be able to take up the position. Then, thank you very much. Yang Wu replied with a smile. I should be the one thanking you. You've helped my clan a lot, and we still need you to continue refining pellet. I only have half a year's time to cultivate, so I won't refine pellets for the time being. Chapter 1556. Yang Wu rejected the Jiang clan head's request on the spot. He didn't give him any face at all. The Jiang clan head was also stunned for a moment, then he suddenly said, I forgot that you are going to participate in the Thousand Saints Assembly. Since it's like this, help me refine 10 more cauldrons, and I'll let you cultivate. I can also give you some pointers in exchange. It's not impossible to refine 10 cauldrons, but I want half of the divine pills for each cauldron, or else I won't refine. Yang Wu replied. I can't give you a single divine pill. The Jiang clan head affirmed, and then he said, You will leave this place in the future, and it will be very difficult for you to come back. I can prepare more materials for you, and you can refine in other places in the future. Don't talk about conditions with me, or else I will get angry. Okay, deal, but I have to refine these 10 cauldrons of divine pills in batches. You saw it too, every time I refine a cauldron of divine pills, I have to risk my life. If I'm not careful, I will be struck to death by divine lightning. You can't bear to see me like this, right? Fine, say that within this half a year, according to you, where did you get this cauldron from? Can you lend it to me to take a look? The cauldron is the lifeblood of an alchemist. I can't easily let you see it. That's true, but this seems to be my clan's inheritance cauldron. There shouldn't be any problem if I take a look. The Jiang clan head said, and directly grabbed the cauldron, and Yang Wu couldn't keep it in time even if he wanted to. Yang Wu wanted to resist, but there was a powerful force that enveloped his body, suppressing him until he couldn't move. Don't worry, I won't take away someone's beloved, the Jiang clan head said faintly. Immediately after, he lightly touched the bronze cauldron, and looked at every part of it. Tears flowed down his face as he said, "This is my clan's cauldron, we finally have the chance to meet again." In the next moment, blood essence flew out from between his brows, and directly dripped into the cauldron. The bronze cauldron's spirit appeared. A bald old man carrying a walking stick appeared with a kind smile, and muttered, "There's actually a living descendant of the Jiang clan. Not bad, not bad." The Jiang clan head knelt down and said, "Jiang Ting greets the ancestor." The old man waved his hand and said, "I'm not an ancestor of your Jiang clan. I'm just an artifact spirit." Then, he looked at Yang Wu and said, "Little master, are you being controlled by this guy?" Yang Wu helplessly smiled bitterly. The strength of the Jiang clan's clan leader was too strong, and he was unable to resist. "Ancestral artifact spirit, you are the divine cauldron of my clan. How did you end up in the hands of others? Can our Jiang clan's alchemy manual be passed down?" Jiang Ting asked. The artifact spirit replied, "I have already recognized him as my master. The Jiang clan is no longer related to me. However, your alchemy codex is still here. However, whether or not it can be passed on still depends on whether the little master agrees or not. You should let him go first." As he spoke, the bronze cauldron shook slightly, and Jiang Ting's restraint on Yang Wu lost its effect. The origin of this bronze cauldron was astonishing, and its grade was so high that it exceeded Yang Wu's expectations. Jiang Ting didn't know how to respond. This was their clan's cauldron, and it actually recognized someone else as its master. Could it be that he really had to kill Yang Wu and take the cauldron back? However, the cauldron's artifact spirit had awakened and didn't seem to allow him to do so. "You were once from the Jiang clan?" Yang Wu asked curiously. "Not really. Jiang Na just coincidentally obtained me and became my master. I gave him the inheritance and created the name Emperor Jiang," the artifact spirit said lightly. Jiang Ting was stunned when he heard this. Yang Wu was also stunned. Just how ancient was this artifact spirit? Jiang Ting came back to his senses and asked, "Where is my ancestor? Could it be that he has already fallen?" The heavenly Tao is heartless, and the path to immortality is long. If one doesn't become an immortal, sooner or later one will turn to dust. The artifact spirit responded, and then he said, "Your Jiang clan and I can be considered to be fated. Why don't I make the decision? You can choose a Jiang clan disciple to become my little master's disciple. My little master has hopes of catching up to Jiang's achievements in the future, or even better. It won't be a disgrace for him to nurture your Jiang clan disciple." Jiang Ting's gaze flickered, and a scorching look flashed across his eyes as he said, "Can I? Then you'll have to ask my little master. This old man is going back to rest," the artifact spirit said, and went back into the cauldron. Yang Wu smiled bitterly in his heart and said, "He really knows how to find trouble for me." Sure enough, Jiang Ting looked at Yang Wu eagerly, his old eyes filled with anticipation. There were many people in their Jiang clan who cultivated fire profound qi. It shouldn't be difficult to find a child with talent in alchemy. It just depended on whether Yang Wu was willing to accept it or not. At this point, did Yang Wu have any other choice? "I don't have that much time to teach a disciple, so Patriarch, you can choose the disciple with the best talent and comprehension to be my disciple. Moreover, time is limited, so I can't stay here to teach him. Think about it carefully." Yang Wu made a statement in advance. "All right, then I'll have to trouble you." Jiang Ting's tone clearly became much friendlier. Yang Wu really didn't think that he would be involved in so many things. He was more or less upset. He also wanted to meditate and comprehend the ox blood art and star prayer art. Jiang Ting seemed to see through Yang Wu's thoughts and said on the spot, "Don't worry, you've done so many things for my clan. I won't treat you unfairly. The secret technique you want to cultivate will be taught to you by this patriarch alone." Yang Wu's face revealed a pleasantly surprised expression as he said, "Really?" Jiang Ting nodded with a serious expression. This made Yang Wu's mood much better. Then he asked about Nan Nan. Why did they bring her here in advance? She has a natural divine spirit body. If a young divine spirit descends, she might be brought to the divine realm. Our Jiang clan also has people in the divine realm, so we hope that she can go to the Jiang clan and help us replenish our strength. Jiang Ting said in an incomparably honest manner. We still don't know if a young divine spirit descending will be a blessing or a curse. I don't think we can be so optimistic. Yang Wu said in a deep voice. Yu Huijin came from the divine realm, and she had told Yang Wu many things about the divine realm. This was why Yang Wu had this kind of worry. The so-called divine spirit of the divine realm was only born in the divine realm. There were countless divine items in the divine realm, and it was unknown how many times more resources they had compared to the transcendent realm. So, their starting point was much higher than the transcendent realm. Like Xie Tian and Yang Zixing, there were many natural-born holy infants. The more they were like this, the more they looked down on the lower races. They would only treat them as slaves, as weeds that could be killed at will. Perhaps, but some things can't be changed. We can only let nature take its course. Jiang Ting replied and brought Yang Wu to rest. Jiang Ting also announced to the Jiang clan that Yang Wu had become their clan's honored guest. He could walk around as he pleased and was no longer restricted. Yang Wu's status in the Jiang clan instantly rose by a lot. Many Jiang clan members revealed kind smiles when they saw him. Suddenly, Yang Wu felt that this place had a bit more human touch. Yang Wu was arranged to stay in the room next to Nan Nan. The two siblings could finally have a good conversation. Nan Nan, did they make things difficult for you? Yang Wu transmitted his voice to Nan Nan with a serious expression. Nan Nan twirled her two braids and smiled. No, the clan leader is very good to me. The people here are actually very kind. Big brother, don't worry too much. That's for the best. Yang Wu relaxed. He was very afraid that the Jiang clan had other plans for Nan Nan. Big brother, the Jiang clan's bloodline is very powerful. Their battle prowess is also very strong. Those two secret arts are worth cultivating. You will have unexpected gains. I will study them. However, there's clearly something wrong with their bloodline. You can't be too obsessed with these two secret arts. You have to distinguish the pros and cons. After Jiang Ting received Yang Wu's blood-cleansing divine pill, he immediately summoned some of the god-level experts in the clan and distributed the pills. He also discussed Yang Wu's matters and who would be suitable to visit Yang Wu. In the end, they gathered the most talented children in the clan and began to choose from them. It was best that they kept 3 children and let Yang Wu choose. After all, they weren't alchemists. They didn't know which children were more talented in alchemy. It was best for Yang Wu to choose. After Yang Wu saw the 3 children, he didn't choose any more. He took them in as his in-name disciples and taught them some simple alchemy knowledge. He wanted to see who could learn it the fastest. This was the best way to determine a child's comprehension ability. He would know the result in a month. Patriarch Jiang Ting also fulfilled his promise and personally taught Yang Wu the ox blood technique and the star prayer technique. After Yang Wu received these 2 ancient techniques, he quickly understood the difference between the 2 ancient techniques on the stone steel. The incantation on the stone steel was only a simplified version. It wasn't the complete version. 2 different versions would result in different effects when cultivating. In addition, Jiang Ting also passed on some cultivation insights to Yang Wu. This helped Yang Wu to master these two secret techniques faster. Yang Wu was overjoyed. He sincerely expressed his gratitude to the Jiang Ting clan leader. These two ancient techniques might not be very useful to him, but they could help him understand more of the mysteries of different ancient techniques. In the future, he might even be able to create new techniques. Of these two ancient techniques, the one that interested him the most was the star prayer art. The star prayer art had a total of 12 levels. The deeper one's understanding of it, the deeper one's connection with the stars and the greater the power of the stars. Moreover, the most valuable part of this secret technique was that it didn't limit one's cultivation level. One could cultivate it as a child and be able to sense the mysteries of the stars. It could help a child grow faster. Yang Wu felt that it was necessary to seriously cultivate this star prayer art. The incantation of the star prayer art was a little obscure. It couldn't be understood by the ancient people. It was too difficult to understand what it meant. Fortunately, with Jiang Ting's teachings, Yang Wu was able to quickly learn the technique. The star prayer art is to use one's willpower to communicate with the stars. By imagining the stars and resonating with them, one can draw upon the power of the stars to temper one's mind and body. Yang Wu meditated and studied the star prayer art. He began to visualize the appearance of the stars in his mind. He wanted to understand this secret technique as quickly as possible. Chapter 1557. When Yang Wu broke through to the star mark realm, he began to utilize the power of the stars to temper his body. It was only then that he slowly grasped the connection with the stars. Now that he had obtained the star prayer art, he realized that one didn't have to reach the star mark realm to be able to sense the power of the stars. Once a person was born, they could correspond to the stars. As long as they continued to visualize and meditate, they could sense the heaven and earth and the stars. One day they would be able to sense the power of the stars. If a person was baptized by the power of the stars from a young age, their physique would naturally be different from ordinary people. This was the case for the Jiang clan. They had been able to sense the existence of the power of the stars from a young age. That was why they had the physique they had now and why there were so many saints in the star mark realm. Yang Wu had already reached the star mark realm and was able to sense the power of the stars. When he read the star prayer art and received Patriarch Jiang Ting's insights, he visualized the stars again and sensed the stars. He finally had a new discovery. He saw a star in his mind. It was glowing purple and contained other powers. It was incomparably huge and noble. It was emitting strands of the power of the stars. The power of the stars seemed to be within reach. Yang Wu mobilized them and used the power of the stars to temper his body and strengthen his physique. This wasn't the first time he had done such a thing. His master had also imparted him the cultivation experience of the celestial rune realm. Now, he was just using the star prayer art once again. He discovered the extraordinariness of this secret technique. The art of star prayer involved praying to and worshipping the stars. This was similar to the moon worship divine codex of the moon worship demonic sect. The art of star prayer allowed one to gain the recognition of the stars and borrow more power from the stars to further improve one's strength. The Jiang clan's star prayer art had a total of 12 levels. Each level would have the power of a star. After reaching the 12th level, one could pray for the power of 12 stars and burst out with extraordinary combat strength. Yang Wu had once sensed the strength of each star. He had long been able to withstand the power of the 12 stars, but when he used the star prayer art, he discovered that there was still room for improvement. The star prayer art could be cultivated from a young age. The longer one cultivated it, the earlier one could sense the power of the stars, and the more power they could store. Not only could it use the dantian to store the power of the stars, it could also use the acupoints throughout the body to store the power of the stars. These acupoints had a lot of storage space. Thinking of this, Yang Wu finally knew where he should transfer the overflowing energy to. Firstly, it could be used to nourish the power of the immortal foundation. Secondly, it could be poured into every acupoint in the body, turning the acupoints in the entire body into a small dantian. This way, the body would be even more abnormal. Over the years, he had been tempering his body, and the various acupoints had gathered a lot of energy. This was also the reason why he could grow his body. He had never thought of turning his acupoints into small dantians, as the star prayer art had mentioned. After he completely understood this principle, he guided the power of the stars into his body. He used the Supreme Nine Mysteries formula to spread the power of the stars throughout his body, and absorbed the power into his acupoint. The immortal foundation also emitted the power of sucking, slowly increasing its size. After Yang Wu comprehended the Tao of life, he could convert a lot of energy into life force, and strengthen the power of the immortal foundation. Relatively speaking, as long as the power of his immortal foundation was strong, it didn't matter whether he could break through in a short period of time. As the power of the stars poured into his body, he felt extremely warm and comfortable. This was a feeling he had never felt before. It was as if he had finally become one with his natal star. It was simply too wonderful. Unknowingly, Yang Wu was intoxicated by this feeling. He didn't know that he had caused such a big commotion. Outside his house, there was a majestic power of the stars pouring into his position. That terrifying power of the stars actually appeared. When a saint guided the power of the stars, it was usually done invisibly. Starlight almost didn't appear. Yang Wu actually attracted starlight, and the light was as scorching as the sun. This shocked all the living beings in the city. What's going on? Did someone break through? Such a terrifying power of the stars. That's not right. This is starlight. How could it appear for no reason? Who has the ability to force the starlight out? It's in that direction. That's where our clan's esteemed guest lives. Only when the star prayer art is cultivated to the extreme can it attract starlight. Who could do this? It's too inconceivable. My God, could it be that our clan's esteemed guest is the same as us, and cultivated the star prayer art from a young age? The people of the Jiang clan were all alarmed. Those outside the Jiang clan were the same. They didn't understand why the starlight would suddenly descend. They only thought that it might be a disturbance caused by an expert of the Jiang clan cultivating. The Jiang clan's patriarch, Jiang Ting, sensed the change in Yang Wu's position. His old eyes flashed with incomparable astonishment. Mastering the star prayer art and completely merging with the natal star, causing starlight to appear. At the very least, one has to reach the Jade Moon realm to have this ability. This Yang Wu isn't simple. I'm afraid his physique isn't any worse than Nanan's. However, not long after Yang Wu attracted the starlight, someone outside the Jiang clan city also attracted the starlight. The commotion wasn't small either. Everyone wanted to know who had done this so quickly. Unfortunately, after the other party attracted the starlight, they quickly restrained it. Only the Jiang clan's patriarch saw who it was. It was a young man as outstanding as Yang Wu Kuan-Mingzi. Attracting the starlight meant that the cultivation of the star prayer art was completed. In the future, he could use the star prayer art to cultivate at any time. Before breaking through to the 12-star mark realm, there wouldn't be any obstacles. Other than these two, there were also people who had great gains. The saints who came in from the outside world were all 1 in 10,000. Not only in battle strength, but also in comprehension, they were all top-notch. After they obtained these two ancient techniques, their strength soared rapidly. There were even people who directly comprehended the mysteries of the Jade Moon realm and stepped into it. This person was an elder from the Dragon Tiger sect who was half a step into the immortal ascension realm. He had been stuck at that level for many years and had long since solidified his foundation to the limit. Unfortunately, he couldn't take the final step. Finally, with the help of these two secret techniques, he succeeded in breaking through. Haha, I've reached the immortal ascension realm, I've reached the immortal ascension realm. The old man returned to his middle-aged appearance and laughed crazily. After he broke through, the jade tablet exploded on its own and swept him out of this space. After breaking through to the Jade Moon realm, he no longer had the right to participate in the Thousand Saints' assembly. It could be said that there were gains and losses. Some of the others were envious, while others were disdainful. They were envious that he had reached the immortal ascension realm in one step and had the qualifications to pursue the path of immortality. They were disdainful because in the Sage Assembly, there would be all kinds of top-notch treasures to fight for. If they missed it, they would have to wait another 1,000 years. While the saints were working hard to increase their battle strength, Yang Wu's 1-month seclusion ended. In this 1 month, he had once again increased his overall strength. His condition was much stronger than before. He felt that his body was a furnace that could explode with unlimited energy at any time. What surprised him the most was that the star prayer art could draw in the power of the stars to increase the strength of his immortal foundation. If this continued, his immortal foundation would become stronger and stronger. In the future, it would become a true immortal body. On this day, Yang Wu chose Jiang Lu from the Jiang clan as his in-name disciple. The other 2 children were eliminated. Jiang Lu successfully completed the task that he had set. He had memorized all the basic elements of identifying herbs and refining pills. Moreover, he could use them flexibly. His comprehension was not bad. He also had an innate talent that allowed him to identify herbs through his senses. His body seemed to have a natural perception of herbs. With this kind of innate talent, Yang Wu had no reason not to take him as a disciple. It was a pity that his time here was limited, and he could not teach him all the time. Thus, he could only take him as an in-name disciple. The master-disciple relationship was a little lacking. Jiang Lu was only 13 years old, but he had already grown up to be as tall as a 17 or 18-year-old youth. He looked rough, but his hands that played with fire were not rough. Instead, they were very delicate. This was his most valuable aspect. Under Jiang Ting's witness, Jiang Lu knelt in front of Yang Wu. Yang Wu could be considered to have taken him as a disciple. I really want to take you in as a personal disciple, but unfortunately, I have to leave this place. I can only take you in as an in-name disciple. However, I will teach you like a personal disciple. Yang Wu said very seriously. He then passed on some basic alchemy knowledge to Jiang Lu. He also told Jiang Lu a lot of basic requirements to prevent Jiang Lu from taking detours. Jiang Lu solemnly knelt in front of Yang Wu and thanked him. "Thank you, Master." Jiang Lu's comprehension was indeed good. In the following month, he displayed a very strong talent in alchemy. In just 1 month, he could identify thousands of herbs and could refine pills below the king level. He was 13 years old, but he already had the strength of the heavenly fish realm. He was much more powerful than the geniuses outside the transcendent realm. Jiang Ting had been watching Jiang Lu's progress and was very satisfied. He was even more satisfied with Yang Wu. He ordered people to send Yang Wu all kinds of high-level flesh and blood to help Yang Wu cultivate the ox-strengthening blood technique. Jiang Ting said that warriors had to endure the flesh and blood of higher-level creatures in order to strengthen their own blood, stimulate their organs, and strengthen their physique. Yang Wu already had a combat strength that was comparable to the heaven-piercing realm, so he had to eat the blood of creatures that had reached the god level. Only then would it have an obvious effect on him. The flesh and blood of ordinary creatures would not have much effect on him. Yang Wu had already memorized the ox-strengthening blood technique. When he ate the flesh and blood, he used this ancient technique to refine the blood from the flesh and blood bit by bit and integrate it into his bloodline. The blood in his bloodline was clearly strengthened, but at the same time, there was a strange feeling. His bloodline was rejecting the foreign blood.